Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar
Welcome to the party.
and Simon.
Let's go.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We are going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. Football! This is going to be one of the worst episodes in recent history because football's back. Kamar, do you have any new patrons to go over?
Hey guys, how's it going on? Like and subscribe, smash that smash button.
He got so excited there. He goes, hey guys, how's it going on?
Hit the notifications. That really helps support the podcast. But the best way to support the podcast is through the Patreon. This week, I want to give a big shout out to kicking off September sweeps like no other, Jim Hammett.
Jimmy, my
New
man.
Patreon, joining all the Patreons, past and present.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You get the Moon Debate, this one on Age Well, Post Joe's.
The moon debate didn't age well. We're on it.
Well, that
Did for me.
It did for him.
Did for me.
It did for
Soothsayer
Kamar.
shit. But yeah, thank you to the Patreons. The only true way to support. You guys are all producers of this podcast.
Soothsayer. This
It's
guy
just
acts.
impossible for me to take you seriously in that shirt. I'm so sorry.
That's Matt's fault, not mine.
Kamar, how was your incredible week, pal? You're a winner.
We are the champions.
The funniest guy in Ottawa. That's
Yeah.
what he is.
Yeah.
It's this. I know Simon probably scoffed at that, but it was so strange about how, it meant a lot to me. Or it meant a lot to any comic who was in the competition. There was a lot of pressure and stuff.
No, it only meant a lot to you. The
Why
other
did
comics
I?
lost.
Why did I scoff at it?
I'm not.
Because you're a scoffer.
I've
That's
got
your
it.
attitude
What
with
a
most
piece of
things.
shit.
I haven't got to my point yet. And I was really like happy.
I know you were.
You know what I
should
mean?
have been.
And then the Lions won. That's a whole nother thing. And then just waking up on Monday and just being like, oh.
Oh, I'm still not rich.
But wanting the feeling to like still feel like a winner or something.
You wanted the
but
whole audience to be in your bedroom
and
clapping
it's
as you
just
woke
such
up.
a representation of life, like how everything is fleeting.
Do you not have like a belt you can put
It's on its
on
way, it's
and
on its
walk
way.
around? And
Yeah, Kamar, Louis sells
but
out.
what's the scoffing?
You totally appreciate what I said. I got you wrong.
Simon hates music.
I read you
Simon's
wrong.
an asshole. Like, don't stop putting fucking words in my
Don't
mouth.
put Simon
alright?
in a box.
I don't think you say those things about yourself. I'm not putting those words in your mouth. I don't think you're an asshole either. You scoff a lot. And what was the other one?
Why would I scoff
like music.
at him
He
winning?
doesn't like music,
Okay,
yeah.
shut the fuck up.
No,
Why-
me just remarking about how the winning sensation, the joy, like just was gone. It just dissipated, and there I was. It's Friday. You know what I mean?
I'm still not seeing where I would have.
Happiness
scoffed
is
at.
fleeting. That's all.
You're saying that I can't be happy for you.
I thought I think you
Yes.
interrupted me. You were waiting to not scoff or whatever, and it threw the whole thing off. I should have not said that, and maybe we would have got an honest scoff out of you. But on the competition, the headliner of the show was the winner of last year.
Yeah.
And they remarked how their name still wasn't on the trophy. But my name will be on the trophy, immortalized. I now have an official credit. Funniest guy in Ottawa 2023, I believe, this qualifies me for a couple festivals next year.
I mean, I don't like to be a Simon scoffer, but
I will fucking kill both of you. Okay, there will be murders.
Simon, how was your week then? Are you done, Kamar? I'm so sorry.
Oh, I just want another thing is my nephew got a phone
Yeah.
and he texted me, and it was
Yeah.
the most awkward thing ever.
Because you had to send him a photo of your penis back. Just out of pure, like, you had no
That's
choice.
family.
Yeah.
That's family. No, but it's like I had to resist that temptation, obviously.
That showbiz kid.
But when you're with a kid in person, you sort of are mindful. But when you're just texting,
Yeah.
It's just you have to. This is just a kid.
Yeah.
You can't say how the fuck is it going.
Yeah.
Like it
That was
just
your fucking day, bro.
Delete the dick pic.
don't tell your
that's
mother.
So good.
It was just weird, and that was my week.
That's just commercial.
Isn't that a joke you should do on
Automatic
stage?
reaction.
I should. I
Take it. It's
just
yours.
through action.
Simon, how was your week?
Oh, my week was fine. Thanks. I wasn't voted funniest guy in Ottawa, so scoff at that all you want.
I will.
Can I help you? I was scratching my arm.
You guys don't watch The Bear, do you?
Mary, I've had it on in the background because Mary
That show
watches it.
Sucks.
It does suck, but season 2 is episode
Garbage.
5. I think is the hardest episode of television I've ever had to watch.
Which one's that?
The Christmas party.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it.
It's
Yeah.
so like
I couldn't even get past.
I should have turned it off.
Two.
I should have turned it off, but I didn't. This is going to end any second. But all the episodes are usually 30 minutes or something. This one was like an hour 20, and I just was like, stuck.
It's real awkward.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, they really nail the awkwardness quite well.
Like, throw it, fucking do
Yeah,
it,
dude.
And it triggered something in me that I had anxiety watching it. So I guess it was well done, but it was.
I mean, the whole show is like that. Everything about it, the being in the kitchen, the working, the
But the
everything.
tension, Jamie Lee Curtis losing her shit, like
I haven't seen that
smoking,
one.
the rapid camera. Oh man.
I'm just
Push me to
saying
the
that
edge.
that show is made kind of the same way as like Uncut Gems. It has that like built-in
Tension.
Yeah.
Did you? So doors don't work like that, anyways. Plot spoiler, conspiracy theory.
Did you say doors don't work like that?
For those freezer doors
yeah,
and fridges, that's not possible.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's all right.
It's fine.
Thank you to all the Patreons again. I just
Yeah.
wore my
Shout out to you
cockles.
guys. Simon, how was your week?
Yeah, you know
what I
your
didn't.
own
You know what I
there,
didn't
right?
realize about our friend Simon here
What's up?
is that Simon, although Jewish, really, really loves Strickland.
No, I don't. That's
No. Like you would have thought. I would have thought in my head that if Strickland met Simon in person, he would hate Simon.
Is
hate him.
Strickland an anti-Semite?
he was an ex neo-Nazi.
No
I think.
way.
Yeah,
I didn't say that. He did.
The
I
plot
just.
thickens.
I was just going on assumptions, pure assumptions.
This is the person that beat Izzy last night.
Keep in mind, I think Strickland would meet me and be like, "I hate you too."
I hate Israel Adesanya so much that I would have cheered for Hitler himself to beat him in a fist fight.
Listen, the excitement out of Simon last night when Strickland was clearly winning the fight, like you would have thought Simon had tens of thousands of dollars
Because
on.
it's so much better than like Pereira beating him, you know, like a no minus 600, dude. Like it was so ridiculous. It was crazy. It was a crazy fight.
You don't like the showboat fighters.
Izzy is really, I don't like the show, but he took it to a whole other level. Like he made the UFC so dorky, and it's such
And he paid for it.
great, it's a hard sport, you know what I mean? And he tried to like turn it into something else. He tried to like Logan Paulinize it, you know? And I'm not down with it.
Is
not having it.
Is there anything to, because all like guys fight and then you gotta wait like 6 weeks till you could fight again, possibly, or something minimum?
What's your
You
point?
don't have to wait.
People have fought the next
Oh
week.
yeah. So
Yeah.
guys have fought
Yeah.
8 days later.
Okay. I was wondering if just the groups, all the people who fight on Saturdays are gonna end up being similar to people who fight 6 months from now on a Saturday.
No,
No, it's not like that at all.
No.
You want to have a camp though. I mean, really, you're probably best. But
Of
I
course
mean,
you're
Nate
best.
Diaz, he take that fight on like 8 days notice?
Simon, a lot of guys, like there was one guy a couple months ago who he had a shortened camp, I believe, and then he came in and knocked the guy out in like 25 seconds. And so because he was fresh, right? Like he took no damage, he fought for 20 seconds. Someone the next week had to back out of a fight, and he was like, "I'll take it. I'm still like," because that makes sense, right? You haven't really,
You've already done a camp.
yeah. I'm fresh, so that happens, yeah. That's your week, Simon. That was it.
I don't think I ever got to my week.
Oh, I just said that's right. You liked.
He interrupted me and
He
I
scoffed
just
at
never
you.
got
So how was
there.
your
He
week?
scoffed at me, yeah. My week was fine. I told you I saw a coyote in the city. Huge. As big as a German Shepherd. It was really big. And then the other thing I found out, I live out in the country now, as you know, and I see these wild turkeys all the time.
Yeah.
And
Which he won't shoot and eat.
They're very hard to shoot.
I don't think you want to eat them. It's like way too gamey. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so I'm coming up my laneway and they come out of a tree. And I'm like, holy fuck. I didn't even know that turkeys went into the tree.
How do they come on the tree with their...
They like jump down from the tree.
But sort of flutter
with
down?
their wings. Yeah,
Wings,
like
that's
I don't think they can fly, or if they can, it's not very high and not for very long, but they can definitely like get up into the branches. Anyways, I assume it's what it's like for somebody when they like, I can't. Listen, here, right here, my eyes. I assume it's like, you know, you're out in the forest and you see Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And you never even knew you had to be afraid of Bigfoot because you didn't even know it existed. You know what I'm saying? So it was never even like a thought in your head when you went into the forest.
Hold on. Are you
I now have to worry about like pterodactyls and trees. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole, it
a new
never
fear
even
unlocked.
occurred to me.
New
Never
fear
even occurred
unlocked.
to me. Yeah, I don't like it at all.
But did you say you're thinking about getting a firearm?
Yes. But again, not to kill turkeys.
But just you're in Bigfoot?
Yeah, not Bigfoot either. In case, like, I don't know, a rabid coyote came up or something, you know?
Can you imagine if we lived in a world where there was only one Bigfoot and Simon ended up killing it? Wouldn't that be the ultimate irony?
But like by hitting it on the side of the road.
Well, that's Harry and the Hendersons, right?
Yeah,
he hits
yeah,
the
that's
Bigfoot
true,
and they
yeah.
bring it back. What a great movie.
But the difference is you are the ultimate Bigfoot enthusiast. So if you ended up killing him,
that would be ironic.
Yeah, the
it would
irony
be like
would
an
be very-
Alanis
yeah.
song. But I'll tell you, there are tons of Bigfoot, like, not
it's
people,
like Bigfoot enthusiasts
Not
running
people who-
Bigfoot down.
not people who hate Bigfoot,
Yeah.
like they're out there trying to kill it. But many people believe that the only way you'll prove the existence of Bigfoot is to bring in a dead Bigfoot. Because I can show you the Patterson Gimlin film and there's still going to be people who call it a fake, you know? It's like, unless I can show you the best UFO video, but you know, unless you probably see one for yourself.
I don't think there's people who hate Bigfoot.
I was just thinking.
Oh, there are definitely people who hate
No,
Bigfoot.
I don't. Because they don't think he exists.
There
'Cause
are
he's out there
people
not
who
working,
have had
freeloading.
encounters with Bigfoot. They have been bad encounters, meaning maybe they were, you know, almost killed or they were ran out of what those people don't.
And now they've devoted their life to...
There are some who devoted their
Exact
life
revenge.
to try and kill Bigfoot. I think more they just have gone from like, save it to I'd be happy to see them all killed, you know?
I wonder what the percentage is.
Bigfoot fucked my wife.
People who believe in Bigfoot and want him to thrive and want him to...
Oh, I'm sure it's more who want him to thrive than want
Yes,
him
yes,
to
I would
die,
assume
yeah.
that as well.
I'm just saying those people are out there. And even the ones who want him to thrive, some of them want to bag themselves a Bigfoot because, like I said, it's the only way to prove its existence. Got to come with a body. Got to come correct. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
true. Like prison, you got to come with a body.
Yeah, there you go.
How
All
was
right.
your week, Matt?
You know, who cares? My weeks are all the fucking same bullshit.
God did. I want to start incorporating that into my...
I hate you.
Please
I
don't.
hate you. Yeah.
Please don't.
I was like,
Don't,
you
don't
can't.
ever do that.
It's funny because in my head I'm like, oh, Kamar came in such a good mood, just feeling good, doing good things. He says that, and I'm like, oh, I hate him again. Never mind. how quickly that comes back.
Well, it's either God did or on God. So.
No, please don't. Please.
On God, son. All right, Kamar, you want to go over the guest list so we can do what we actually do here?
Oh, yeah. Start off with 2030. Sort of called it. Protect Our Parks, episode 9. With Shane Gillis,
We'll give you a quarter of a point.
You called Shane Gillis.
We'll give you a quarter of a point.
Mark
yeah.
Norman, Ari Shafir, and of course Joe, followed by 2031. This was an interesting one. Luis J. Gomez.
Was
Single
it
man
interesting?
singer. No, I thought it was the
Okay,
next one.
yeah.
Just had a special come out, followed by 2032 BJ Penn and Tulsi Gabbard. And of course, there was the fight companion.
Matt
but we didn't
wins the
cover that
pool.
one.
I said
We
last
were wondering
night.
what the first pronunciation was going to be. He said it was going to be Gabbard, and here we go.
Why? What do you guys say?
Last night,
We're betting on the different ways you pronounce Tulsi Gabbard's name.
I said to Simon
I
last
said the exact way you just said it.
No, you said Gabbard. I said Gabbard.
Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard.
That's better.
There you go. That's
Yeah. And we're going to see how many different ways you say it.
Yeah.
Gabbard.
Well, I don't think I'll have to say it again.
Gabbard.
I don't think I'll have to say it again.
Gabbard.
All right, well, let's rate the week. We'll start by doing that. That is what we do here. It's a tough one to rate. I'm going to give it a 3. Fuck it. Quick 3.
I'll give it 3.5.
There we go.
3.5. You guys are crazy.
Why? Look, let's be honest. If BJ Penn hadn't been there and Joe felt like asking the right questions during that Hawaii episode, it could have been like a 4.5 week.
Whoa, you're
But
crazy.
I think
You're crazy.
BJ offers some brutal like honesty through his simplicity.
God, I just want to say the rudest shit possible, but I'm not going to.
2.5. Actually, 2.25.
2.25 from Simon. Okay, so we've really hit all the ratings. All right, Kamar, let's start it off.
We're going to start off with 2032 BJ Penn and Tulsi. Gabbard.
Nice.
I want to start by saying this, Kamar. You might have hit the nail on the head and been like, BJ was there for just some like blunt honesty, I guess is what you would call it. I just don't think Tulsi does herself any favors. Like, if you're going to go on Joe for your third time, after it's already railroaded your campaign how many times? Not that she's campaigning right now, I get that.
But she is,
She's
right?
open
Like,
to
she's
it.
doing all of this to one day get back to run, I believe.
Okay, my point remains that, like, she didn't have anything, she didn't say anything, like, directly as far as a campaign was concerned. So she shows up with BJ Penn, and it just, like, I understand that he's native Hawaiian. I understand that he is also running for some sort of office. I don't know.
I'm dying to know, did Joe set that up? Did she bring him in? Like, because it makes zero sense to
Unless
me
she's
as
banging
well.
him.
Do we live in that world?
Dude,
No, but
the funniest
she's
guy in
swinging from-
Hollywood and the smartest guy in Hollywood. I mean, in Ottawa.
She's swinging from Jocko to BJ.
She fucked Jocko?
No, but I'm implying all this because they're together. Obviously, I don't think that's true. I think she's married.
Oh, because she brought Jocko on
Last
once?
time she was with Jocko.
Oh, she's
and
definitely
then-
banging them. That's what's happening.
Read between
They
the
wake up in the
lines.
morning. She doesn't know how to get rid of them. She's like, do you want to come on the Joe Rogan show?
It's a way to come out. First of all, what's interesting about this is what was not said, and that's any of the conspiracies. But they started off talking about conspiracies.
What do you mean? They talked about tons of conspiracies.
They didn't point fingers necessarily. They just said a bunch of things that are wrong. And what does this mean? There was no Oprah's trying to buy the place or.
I mean, he tried to do it, but it just nobody understood what the fuck he was talking about. So,
But they didn't try to outright and accuse anyone or point a finger at something. They're just putting together a case that someone has to question why.
I guess.
Well, and they just start talking about how we can't grasp what people thought about the JFK assassination before the Zapruder film. Like how many guys were around with the conspiracy of Lee Harvey Oswald or the CIA being involved, or if it was just cut and dry.
Right. Was that being bantered about? And how would it even be, right? There were no podcasts back then. There were no...
And
No,
just
be your crazy uncle that smokes pot and loves to spend time in the garage. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
just and how you'd find out about something.
From your crazy uncle who spends his time in
But
the
even then,
Like,
where I
he'd
guess
have to get it
where
from
did
the
he find it?
newspaper
Yeah.
that came out 3 days later, or
Well, there were... Yeah, that's so interesting.
it's just
right?
interesting, yeah. And they brought it up that now it's a lot quicker turnover in general on
Yeah, no, for sure.
conspiracies and whatnot.
And that explains totally why conspiracies have just blasted off in the past however many years. It's because of the internet. All of a
Information
sudden,
sharing.
your crazy uncle who was in the garage could
has a
now go
blog.
on to a board and talk to thousands of other crazy uncles just like him, you know?
Yep.
I've said it before, but like when I don't remember the first time I saw Zeitgeist,
Yeah.
but when I did, it was way before social media, I'm sure, because I would have bombarded the world with it. But I thought I knew something more than the common person with the sun and religion and all this and the 911 ties in, and that was more how I liked it. Now it's so all over the place.
Everybody knows the same shit you know, so nobody's special anymore.
They made the point about how you could look at Putin as being merciful. Like he could have just destroyed Kiev if he wanted to.
Well, we assume so.
Well, we all assumed when it first started.
But also, if you want to take something, you don't really want to destroy it, do you? Like if his goal was to take Ukraine, all of Ukraine. I'm not saying that is. I know that he just wanted the Donbass, Crimea, whatever. But let's say he has motives to down the road take it all. Your best bet is not to destroy it, is it? Like if you want a functional.
Based on assuming he just wants to do the Donbass thing and free the Russians that are living there, that's what he wants, which he says he wants to do. But he secretly wants to take Kiev, then it is a lot worse, and I guess they should fight him.
Remember, like Russia, in order to beat the Germans, they burnt all their own land to make sure that they wouldn't have any food. Like that, they're pretty notorious for that kind of tactic.
I was just saying, if you're in the developed world we live in, if you're trying to take land, it's because it has something that you want on it, a big city.
You want your people to have a home there. That was the whole point of Crimea.
Also, if you're going to take people over, you would like them to not be like, you destroyed all of our homes.
I saw a really interesting thing. I didn't know this, but so when Putin first took office, he wanted to join NATO. Did you know this?
Really?
Yeah, and he went to Clinton and said, yo, let me in. And Clinton said, no, you're not getting in. And then apparently Putin realized, oh, I get it. If we join NATO, we're just as big a power as America. And all of a sudden they're going to have to check with us before they do anything. This way they just run NATO with an iron fist and it's just an extension of them and they do whatever the fuck they want. They don't want another powerful country in there. It has to be somebody way less powerful. Otherwise it fucks up their whole plan. So interesting, man. So from that moment on, he was just like, oh, I see through the charade, right? This NATO thing is a fucking joke.
And I think that's another thing that's overlooked is the
mic drop.
Say the propaganda, whatever they're sold in Russia, is it's us against the world. The world is trying to fuck, like we have to, and that would galvanize a country
again.
Way more than
I think that's
what we're being sold.
How Russia's always done it.
There's an important piece there too. If a massive military power were to join NATO, the U.S. immediately has to spend less on military.
That's exactly it, Matt. There's
because
nobody to fight against.
Once you have an ally of equal, not maybe equal because no one's even close to equal, but once you have an ally that has a massive army and a massive resources, you then can, like your people can go, hey, hold on. If we have all these powerful allies, we don't need to fucking...
You hit it right on the head. That's exactly it. It's that... then the military-industrial complex doesn't keep getting to run their scam. Like they get to spend all that money. It's not on their military at home.
Yeah.
It's all over the world because they have to protect every single country in
every
NATO
country. Yeah.
World peace would bankrupt America.
World peace would. First of all, they are bankrupt. How do you figure they're not bankrupt?
Because the whole machine runs on the military-industrial complex.
There is no machine. The machine is putting them in debt. Their country owes. Their country owes a staggering amount of money.
Those people are just stealing cash. Sorry, Matt.
No, if they could stop spending money on the military, they could fix their infrastructure. They could lift up the bottom half of the country, and then it's a way better country.
The country
Everyone's
would
got
get
jobs.
way better.
Yeah,
way better. Like the military-industrial complex isn't helping the country. No. They're hurting the country.
That was one of the things BJ brought up is it's way easier to steal money from Ukraine than it is from Hawaii.
Well, there's no money in Hawaii, so they can't steal anything.
Well, no, but if they were to invest all this money in Hawaii, and the case they made is that it seems like Hawaii is being sort of like is a half Nelson and held back from being its own sort of place. It is fucked up that it's 5 hours away and it's part of America. But have you been to Hawaii?
Yeah. I went to Maui. I stayed in Lahaina.
Oh, that's right. My bad. That's why it hit so close to home. I went to Honolulu.
Yeah, the big island, yeah.
And like you go to the city and it's all like Louis Vuitton
Yeah.
stuff on this one strip is so nice, but if you go one block back, it's fucking shitty.
Hold on, Lahaina was like that too. If you go to
There
the
it is.
main strip in Lahaina, it was all like beautiful art galleries where all the art is like $25,000 to $100,000, and like you said, Louis Vuitton, all these nice. And then like 2 blocks over, it's not shit. Like Lahaina was beautiful, one of the most beautiful places on earth. But I get what you're saying. It's like lower income is like right there behind
It's
them.
not all just coconuts and pineapple and it's a fantasy. If you go to the small places, then it is exactly what you imagine in your head.
Also,
But-
BJ wasn't. It is. I can't. When we were there, I was like, I can't imagine how anyone affords to live here. So the most expensive place I've ever been to.
What could possibly be the rationale of stopping people from trying to bring in help? Food, water, whatever the case. Like what could possibly be Hawaii's
People-
rationale?
obviously-
It's not Hawaii.
They-
It's the U.S. government. They don't want anyone investigating
who-
what
whoever.
could have.
It was
it is.
people's safety.
What the fuck does that mean? So I'm trying to bring life jackets to a sinking ship and they're going to stop me because they don't trust my life
Well,
jackets?
you might get hurt.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
No, you're asking. I'm just giving you.
Yeah, no,
Kamar,
that wasn't.
shut the fuck
That
up.
wasn't to you. That
Another
was,
another thing would be they're still trying to find bodies. They don't want just people messing around with. I mean, one it could be a disaster
God.
scene or a crime
sounds
scene.
like he works for the fucking CIA.
No, I'm just trying to steel man it. I think it's
Michelle
called.
Baker over here.
They talked also about how this happened as career politicians. Like it's just the same old thing. And you know who just announced that they're running for office again?
Go on.
Nancy Pelosi.
Go away, lady. Just go away. Like, what
you
are
know,
you doing?
retired,
Fuck,
play the
you're
grandchildren
so
for
rich.
listen,
So funny,
they need
man.
me. They need me.
I mean, she may be. How old is she?
86.
She may be 86, but those titties ain't 86.
Those titties are like 15 years old.
They're
yeah.
like 39.
Dude,
Easy.
forced retirement on these people, 70. And you
100
have to be
dude,
out of there. Get the
100%.
fuck out of here.
The
You're not-
idea. I'm sorry, Matt. I keep interrupting
ahead.
you. No,
No,
finish
please.
it.
I was.
You guys are gonna say the same
The
point.
idea of I don't like your attitude. The idea of a 80-year-old president, like my grandfather as a president, like
lunacy.
they're that close to just possibly going. It's so dumb. It's
lunacy.
so dumb.
I think, well, there's my theory that partially it exists because the majority of people that vote are old people. Like half the young people vote.
right.
All the old people
And there's
vote.
no way they're gonna vote for some
And they're like,
young
we need someone who
whippersnapper.
knows what we're going through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, but still.
Well, that's a problem
So take
because
away their
those
vote as
people
well.
aren't like the
No.
the votes
No,
that
of course not.
matter. You know.
Well, they matter. Well, everyone's vote matters. I'm just saying you can't be like, well, I need someone 85 to represent all the 85-year-olds. Like, I don't know. It's a weird one.
I didn't mean didn't matter. I meant like they're not the people who are going to be
Their
bringing
interest is
our
limited.
country or our nations into the next
They-
50 years
they don't worry about
because
50
they're
years
going to
from
be
now.
dead. Yes, exactly.
So yeah, there's no alarm system, and the guy said because that's for tsunamis. You didn't want people to think there was a tsunami.
So, dude, that again, just one of the stupidest
Excuses
I've ever heard.
What's ironic is I'm sure you guys remember this, but like 2 or 3 years ago, it might have been during COVID, they all got that warning saying that nuclear war was imminent.
Yeah, the missiles were coming.
Yeah.
And the sirens went.
So it works. We know this.
Well, no, it's supposed to be the most comprehensive disaster awareness system.
His reasoning was, I believe this was the case, that he didn't want to sound the alarm because then people would think it was a tsunami and they would run for
To
the
the fire.
hills. So you sound the alarm and you send a text out to everyone like
Yeah,
we
fire,
get when
wildfire.
we
Yeah.
have
Amber
a
alert.
big storm coming or whatever.
Yeah.
Or a kid gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
And like you'll hit most of the people. I guess maybe a lot of people don't have phones on. Like
No, a lot of Hawaiians have phones.
yeah, it's stupid,
it's a very
right?
modern
Like
place.
homeless people have phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no water.
That's
Someone
a
turned the
big
water
problem.
off.
Yeah.
Aren't they an island?
Yes.
So
Yes, they are
there
surrounded
is a
by
lot
water.
of water,
Yeah.
right?
So that these are just glaring things that.
But Simon, you have to have a way to, like, let's say you live inland and you're trying to. There's no way for you to get that water to your home.
Yeah. You're
But
right. You're
I
right.
agree with you though. Lahaina is right. Like the city of Lahaina is literally on the water.
No, but it doesn't help you unless you have like pumps to pump that
No,
water out.
I agree, yeah.
What are you gonna do? Run buckets?
well,
over?
from us,
Like,
they're saying even garden hoses weren't working.
Of course not. There's a
you're
fucking
just, like,
wildfire.
pissing on a fucking.
Come on.
In 1800, there was only 1 billion people, and now it's
8.
It was really difficult for BJ to get this out, but
It was difficult. For, listen.
In what year?
I don't want to be an asshole.
1800.
BJ was having a lot of trouble getting anything out.
I think partially it's because of a
Yeah, a little
passion.
bit of, well, okay. Maybe CTE.
I think he
bit.
has CT. I don't know if it's like full blown.
He just has chronic traumatic,
with
no
the
encephalitis.
E, yeah,
And now we're at 8 billion, 200 years later.
we're at like 7.5 billion, I think,
Yeah.
and we're losing people like crazy because of the job, right?
Well, no, they say that
Depopulation.
we'll never. They say they've now said that we'll never,
Never
hit 8
break
billion.
8
8 billion, yeah.
Because the trends are now going the other way. We're having less children, and
Well, I hate to do this, but like ironically, talking to my dad, he was like in 1969, they wrote this thing where they were gonna fucking start decreasing the population. And my argument to him is I was like, well, they did a terrible job.
Terrible.
But if you think about it, like plans take a long time to come to fruition.
Was that guns, germs, and steel?
I don't remember.
I sound smart there.
woo!
BJ put a nice little conspiracy theory out that they ban food trees.
It's a public safety thing.
So
Because
sorry, you
too many
can't.
animals would come for
You
the.
can't have like an apple tree in your yard or whatever. Is that what you're saying?
What he's saying is like, there's all this public land. Why aren't they built? Why don't they put a bunch of like orange trees in there?
I thought
Like
he
if
was
you're
saying
in
there
Florida,
should
for
be-
example.
there should be food trees like have been removed and replaced.
People will just like you'll never get an even distribution of fruit for everyone who needs it. You're just gonna end up people stealing fruit. And
I mean, yes and no. Here's a weird. So, like in Florida, where my grandparents used to live in this like gated community, every like 5 houses, there was a little break, like a 20-foot break where there was a piece of grass, just like a little, with some landscaping. And each one of those pieces of grass had like 3 grapefruit trees on it. And anyone in the place could just come and grab.
it's a gated community.
I understand. I'm just saying, in a gated community, it worked.
Oh, in a gated community, it could work.
I'm just saying, in certain places, it's not like you can't. I'm just saying, it's not like across the board, it's impossible to work.
In Ottawa, every now and again, you'll see like a local co-op garden or whatever.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
There's one over there, yeah.
Yeah. Those get robbed all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they get robbed, they get vandalized because people are shitty.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can put a little note that says, this is human beings doing this, guys just like you,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter. That's all I'm saying. I think
But so he thinks it's because if they had trees with food, the simplest way he could put it,
Beef tree. You need to plant more beef trees. That's what he was trying to
they
say,
should
yeah.
grow some money trees.
Yeah.
the people wouldn't have to pay for food.
Okay, I mean, it's not quite that simple.
Obviously, I
You'd
think
have to fucking plant a lot of fucking trees.
I think they should have a thing in Hawaii like we have here with our First Nations. And I mean, they can hunt everything. They can do whatever they want, right? They can fish when you can't fish. And
Well, they didn't sign treaties. That's what BJ Penn
yeah,
was saying.
exactly, right.
We signed treaties. We broke all of them, might I add. But we did. That's why, Kamar, actually, the further west you go, I noticed in Canada, the further west you go, the more disgruntled First Nations people, because they signed the last or didn't sign treaties out west. In the East Coast, they were the first to sign treaties. I don't know.
But right now, as it is, First Nations can hunt and
They can do whatever they want.
do
on their
whatever they
land.
want.
On their land.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Hawaiians should have that same thing. They should fight for that. I mean,
Again, I don't think it's their land, is what you're saying, right? It's
no,
the
he
government's
said there's no
land.
treaties either.
Yeah, the no trees is the problem. That's what he.
That's
Listen,
what we're saying.
the natives still own a lot of the land. That's why this Maui thing stinks to high hell, because Maui was like the last holdout. It was mostly owned by
Right,
the
gotcha.
native
Yeah,
Hawaiians.
gotcha.
And that's why BJ Penn's up in arms about the governor saying, well, I might just make it all state land, because
Right.
then they truly lose that land
Put up a
forever.
memorial. It's this again, one of the
sounds shady as
stupidest
fuck.
things I've ever heard. Yeah.
But if you're just cursory, you're like, oh, that sounds nice.
But like Oprah legitimately has bought like, don't quote me on this stat, but it's like 1,000 kilometers of
Acres.
land. Was it acres? I think they did
don't put it in kilometers, but-
I'm pretty sure they did. But anyways,
I thought it was interesting. Her name wasn't
I
mentioned
did
once,
see it.
or
on,
The Rock.
I did see it on TikTok. In all fairness, so
Fair enough. Listen, it seems very odd. Like, just think about it this way: if Washington D.C. were struck with a massive wildfire that like charred all of the rich people's homes, they would never stand for the government coming in and being like, "Well, we're going to fix it all. Now it's state land." That would never fly.
Oh no, I agree.
I mean, remember Kanye and George Bush hates black people. Like, this is pretty standard for the way America operates when lesser, lower income places have some sort of disaster. Like, they clean up the rich part real quick, and it takes them a fucking long time to get power back to the people underneath the levees, you know?
But it seemed like even say, just to use that example, I believe that was Katrina,
It was.
that the officials were out there talking stuff. Where the help went, there was issues with FEMA, but in here, people didn't even come out. There was just like no information whatsoever. Especially politicians, they talked about hypocrisy of politicians, which really shows. They used the John Kerry example of just like, oh, my family has a private. They really have a contempt for the population that is supposed to be their boss. They really think, you guys voted for me. I'm so much smarter than you. Let me take care of this.
That was hilarious, though, eh? They're like, do you have a private jet? He's like, no.
But my wife does.
But my wife does, yeah. You know what? You're a fucking asshole, you know?
What's really crazy is that they don't assume that we have checks and balances. Like in the world, we were talking about the internet earlier. Like, you live in a world where everyone can find out everything, and you're going to go in front of a camera and a reporter when asked if you have a fucking private jet, and you're going to have the balls to be like, nah. My wife does, though.
Yeah.
But it's like when there's that 20-minute video of Democrats saying the election was stolen.
Yeah.
Like doing the exact same thing Donald Trump did.
Yeah.
Like the memory is short, as is the news cycle.
The difference is there was no, listen, without January 6th, Kamar, it's a different,
I agree totally.
It's a different
man.
beast.
I agree totally.
like if Donald Trump
But
is
if they had released the Hunter Biden laptop, January 6th would have happened.
Sure. That's neither here nor there. My point is January 6th did happen. I'm not saying, listen,
The optics.
if you want to talk about a stolen election without voting fraud, like if you want to talk about the media stealing the election, I'm with that for sure. But I think that also shows you that like these guys, they don't care about Democrat or Republican. They're like, we have guys we're getting in, we have a plan, and if you disrupt that plan, we're going to fuck you one way or the other.
Well, like I've said, the biggest telltale is that they both support Ukraine,
Of course.
and that's how you know it's fishy.
The biggest telltale to me was Obama, that we went from Bush to Obama. It was perfect. It was them being
was
like,
too
look, we're
much of
going
a
to give you
relief.
we're going to give you what you want. We're going to give you
What? And, go back in time. At that time, it felt really like a hope and
change,
a new
hope. Those
day
were the
and-
two fucking things, Kamar. Hope and change. And they dropped more bombs on more innocent people than they ever had before. Like, there was no change. And clearly hope is lost because since Obama, the world's gone to absolute fucking shit.
So if you were a betting man,
I am.
how much do you believe this whole Obama's gay and Michelle is possibly,
I've seen a lot of those photos. A lot of them are photoshopped.
obviously?
So, But I also have seen
don't know.
I
Sure.
also have seen photos of him hanging out with a dude that looks like in the 70s with a dude that looks shockingly like Michelle.
I don't think it would change anything. I mean, we're all living under these lies, and people aren't who they seem to be. And I guess Obama's related to the Bushes or whatever, that whole thing.
I'm with Kamar. Like, if we found out tomorrow that definitively he was gay,
I don't think it matters.
He's not the president anymore. So who gives a
Well,
hot?
Well, he is.
He might
He's
be.
the shadow
Okay, sorry.
president.
Yes, my apologies.
But I don't care if he's getting
He's
pegged
been
by
running
Mike
the-
Obama or
the
whatever.
show. No,
The,
but that they
conspiracy theories are.
lied is a problem, right?
It isn't, because everyone has been
Everyone
lying
is-
to us this whole time.
But that's also a problem with the states where like there are people in the states that you could have the best candidate lined up. Like across the board, you could say this guy is going to be the best for our country, but half of America's like, but he takes a dick in the ass. And you're like, yeah, it's like, well, can't vote for that. It's
Well,
not
the
family
same Could be
values.
said for a woman.
Well, this is the thing. Tulsi
Right.
was that person, and they do not want her.
But here's my problem with Tulsi is, again, Joe will rag on Justin Trudeau for going to this Klaus Schwab school
She
of
went
whatever.
to the Klaus Schwab
she
school
went.
too,
You have
yeah, it's
like
crazy.
here's the thing.
There was an opportunity there then.
Crazy.
This is all I'm saying. You don't have to call her out and go, hey, what you could do though is say, hey, I heard that Justin Trudeau went to this Klaus Schwab school of, and then I found out you went there.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what was it? What goes on there? Should it be something we're worried about? And then she can say, actually, Joe, it was really just like young leaders meeting. It was a bunch of shoulder, elbow rubbing and
Great
nothing much.
opportunity. It had nothing to do with Hawaii, but yeah, that was a missed
You are
missed opportunity.
100% correct. I don't like when they omit shit like that. It makes me very suspicious. It's like the Epstein cook. You know what I mean? Like if you don't talk about it at all, then it feels like it's omission.
And I just don't understand having the balls to be like, Canada itself is a conspiracy. Buddy, you live in the States. All the conspiracies are born and bred in your country. You have a CIA operative on quarterly who you refuse to ask the hard-hitting questions
Yeah.
to, but then you have the balls to be like, yeah, those nice people up north, oh, real conspiracy up there.
The
Like, dude,
CIA
get the fuck out of here.
admittedly, I mean, not, but
How many countries is the CIA ruined that we are aware of?
no, but their own country, January 6th. And then he has the
That's FBI.
gall.
I'm
You
just
don't
saying.
think
I'm
the
just saying.
CIA was involved in that? You think the CIA only does things off of
Do you guys
US
think it's
soil?
possible?
I think for the most part they try to.
You just take it a little bit personally. If
that's
Joe criticizes Canada.
Insane.
No, because Kamar, I sat back and listened to him do it for months, and I was fine with it. My only thing is now the hypocrisy is getting to me. I don't really give a shit. It's the same thing with any country where he's like, when he was doing it to Australia about COVID, I was ragging on him then too because I'm like, hey, you don't live there.
That was my point. Sorry. The point I was getting at was that if you have your own people manipulating you all the time, the CIA, the FBI, the military, and how free are you really?
Yeah,
Like, isn't that just an illusion of freedom?
yeah. And again,
This is interesting because the point I want to bring up is
Mic drop.
You guys didn't know this, but the Conservative Convention was this weekend in Quebec City, I believe.
okay.
You're right. I did not know that.
And Pierre Poilievre's the loyal opposition. He's the one who's going to run up against Justin Trudeau.
Did you say the loyal opposition?
They call
him, yeah.
And that's what peaceful transfer of power is. Anyways.
His ad is the worst political ad I've ever seen.
When you start from scratch, yeah. But
Jeans, tucked in shirt. Hey, have you met my immigrant wife? That's literally his ad.
It was a political convention. And at the political convention, one of the things they do is they say what they're going to do, but then they will vote
Okay.
on a whole bunch of things.
Okay.
If we get in power, these are our stances.
Mm-hmm.
And they voted no to not let anyone mutilate a child or conversion therapy under the age of 18.
They voted.
Whoa, no way.
That's their position.
The conservatives.
The conservatives and the CBC was going on about how this is problematic. So and for me, I believe that's sensible. Now, maybe government shouldn't be involved in that. You could take that position. It's not of the government to say what can happen, but
What do you mean? The government says that all the time.
Well, hold on. The government
They
regulates
decide
things
when
for
you can
children's safety
drink,
all
they
the
can
time.
decide when you
But-
can vote. They can decide, like, this is par for the course. That's why you have government.
Well, no, but he's talking about like liberty, and
interfering in
liberty
people's
doesn't.
lives.
Yeah, that never has applied to children. By
No,
and
but I
large.
mean, like, certain drugs are still illegal. You can't do them. Who do you think makes those things
Well,
illegal?
one guy I saw made the point that the federal government has nothing to do with that because it's healthcare, right? And that's provincial, and
Yeah.
like our American counterparts, even by the state decides. And I think we should follow that rule. The federal government should have no say on it.
I'm fine with that. Either way, I don't think it's a hill I'm willing to die on, one way or the other. What other stances do they
You're
have?
all right with 16-year-olds doing
No.
something. It just
But
doesn't.
what I'm
seem
saying
right.
is, I don't have a 16-year-old. I don't plan on having a kid. So what I'm saying is, like, I don't have a dog in the fight to be like, I think they're trying to fucking. Do I think? Listen, I've said this many times before. I don't think there's many decisions that children shouldn't be allowed to make, and that's probably one of them. If when you turn 18, and even then, this is the problem. Most of the decisions I was going to make when I was 18, I would never make now. So it's still a slippery slope, just being like, once you hit 18, you can do it. I don't know if you saw it. There's a video circulating around right now of this gentleman who transitioned to be a man, and he's found it incredibly difficult. He's like, I've never been
those
this.
voices are silenced.
Of course they are, yeah, because you can't say, hey, this ain't all it's cracked up to be. I don't know if someone transitioned and wrote a book too about how difficult it was being a man and how men need our help.
Well, the other thing is because our healthcare system, if it was the other would say we would be paying for children to be mutilated or maybe making rash decisions. I try to make the point that the only thing worse than someone complaining about drag guys reading to children is someone defending it. Like I just don't care. It shouldn't be a thing. Like if some school does that, then fine. But it's not something we should crusade for, and it's not something we should condemn.
Yeah. Like I said, that's what I meant by it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I don't know.
Elon a hero for Twitter?
Remains to be seen. Oh, no. The answer is no. But I'll give him a 5% window of... Hear me out. Again, this is Joe's bias. Normally, when a billionaire goes out and buys some sort of media company, you rag on it because you're like, all they're trying to do is control the narrative. Elon Musk, first of all, for $1 billion, could have started his own social media company. And hear me out. He was the number one followed person on Twitter. So he takes $1 billion, gets all the smart people that he already has with him, says, create me a Twitter competitor. It'll take us 6 months. And then you go on your most followed Twitter account and you say, hey guys, just started a new freedom platform. Here's the link. Sign up now.
Well, we know because he took it over and exposed that the government had their fingers deep within Twitter. That probably would have never happened. They would have shadow banned him, anything. I feel like he exposed that just like Edward Snowden exposed the NSA. He put to doubt that
we knew this,
government
but
was
didn't
actually censoring
but didn't we know
social media platforms.
Didn't we know it before that? We didn't know for sure is what
it
you're
was just
saying?
a conspiracy theory. And the whole point is it was a private company. They could do what they want. But now we find out it's a private company that's working with the government. That's fascism. It's a problem.
I think they still could have done what they wanted. They just chose to work with the government. I think it was easier for them.
And is it impossible that was like a happy accident? Like, did Elon buy Twitter so he could out the fact that they were... No, that happened because he was doing a big audit
possible.
of the company, and it's in his best interest at that point to leak it because it makes him look like he's a really righteous individual. And look, that may be the case. Maybe he did buy Twitter just to make sure that free speech reigns in America. But his track record is one of selfishness and driven totally by money. So, like Matt said, we have to wait on this one because...
The one interesting thing is social media is so young. It's not like you can go back and say, yeah, well, Bill Clinton's government was telling Twitter what to do. And George Bush, like, it's...
No, they were just telling the news networks what to do.
Yes, it was so happened.
But I still think,
fucking difference?
Kamar, I still think in 20 years from now, we'll find out that that from the infancy of all the social medias that the government probably had their hands in.
Well,
there.
like I said, the CIA was like, I wish we could be involved in this.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, we've heard a million times about Facebook being a CIA op, like all of them, right?
Well, this was the thing, Kamar, is like, so let's say, just hear me out. Let's say Elon doesn't buy Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg still ends up in front of Congress and on Joe Rogan, and he still gets asked, did the FBI come and ask you to take these down? And he still says yes.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know.
So you think because of Twitter, he then came out and said it? Is that?
I think things happen. It gets a bunch of dominoes rolling.
Okay.
He then can't claim ignorance anymore because we know this is happening at Twitter, but it's not happening at Facebook. We'd have to be retarded to think that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, fair enough.
Like,
I'm just saying that in the timeline, I know we don't live in this vacuum, but if you... God, the Vikings are so fucking bad.
If he doesn't buy Twitter, and I will give him this, if he doesn't buy Twitter, we probably are still in the dark about a lot of things. We assume them, but we would have never known.
But we can
But
say,
don't forget, hold on, what's her name? I'm so sorry, Kamar. What's her name went in front of Congress, and they asked her if the FBI, and she said yes in front of Congress.
Yeah,
So
I know, but like people go in front of Congress and say UFOs exist, and 90% of the population never hear about it. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure.
So, why? Because they don't show it on TV because it's owned by the same people who are trying to hide the shit on the internet.
well, we can say there's the big
C-SPAN's
three,
free.
right? There's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Google.
Okay.
Those are the big three.
What are the big three? What tech companies?
Well, Google's
Google's not
YouTube,
social media.
YouTube is social media.
YouTube. It's a.
Okay.
It is 100%.
It is. So you have Google, Meta, and Twitter.
Okay.
Those are the big three. Twitter is the least censored. Because we know Facebook is censoring Tulsi and whatever else the opinions they're making. And we know Google, YouTube, everyone has to take a swear words. And
But you see what you just said there. There's my problem is like, just because something's less censored, it's good. I like less censorship, but it's not no censorship.
but that's what we're fighting for.
No, who? But who? Elon Musk. Wait.
We want no censorship.
Yeah,
Or I want no censorship.
But hear me
I don't
out.
know what you guys want.
Elon Musk now owns a private company, 100% of it. He can go zero censorship if he chooses. He does not choose.
Well, because he wants advertising dollars. And not only that, like we saw what happened when
He took Kanye off right away for the swastika.
for the
immediately.
for the stupidest reason
And now
too.
he's suing
not
the
because
ACL.
not because
He's
he was
very
sticking up
the
for
ADL.
Jews.
ACLU? What are you talking about?
Anti-defamation.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't take him
know.
off because of
I'm
that.
talking
He
on my
took him
ass.
off because he said something about like
he said it
children
incite-
dying or
No,
something.
he said it incited violence because he wanted to punch Kanye.
No. Hold on a sec. What was the whole thing where he said I had a kid who died a miscarriage. We had a miscarriage, and that Kanye said something about that. That's what got him kicked off.
I don't remember.
I'm telling you, it was
Okay.
some personal
Drop the
attack
mic.
that it wasn't even a personal attack. It was something that Elon took personally. So he was like, well, in this case, we're going to censor because I feel offended by it. But that's not the way that's supposed to work.
No.
Unbiased board judging things that should be censored. If anything gets censored, anyways.
19 of the top Christian sites were Russian bots.
Again, I feel like
Are
I
you
got-
really saying that to us?
No, I'm saying we need a new example, Joe.
Okay, thank God.
When I thought it was very interesting when they talk about the demoralization. Does that mean how do you take that?
I take that as you're trying to get people to feel like they have no hope.
Or are you trying to compromise their morals? Because that'd be the other way to say it, right?
I mean, I don't think that's how you say that.
Destroy morals.
I don't think that's
Demoralize.
demoralism.
Demoralize is break spirits.
Yeah.
That's how you think of it.
Well, that's breaking morale, not
Right, there-
morals.
There you go, morale.
But
That's it.
if you look at the breaking,
No, that's
demoralization,
morale,
is
moral. I
breaking
gotcha.
morals. It could be one of the
It's
same.
interesting.
or the same goal. Like
It's interesting.
one does the other.
Or one works with the other. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
BJ's best line is he can't get COVID unless you take the test.
It's an old
In
line.
your
Heard it
face,
many
Fauci.
times.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have original thought, but he was like he felt sort of like a Eddie Bravo Jr. in the corner.
What did I say?
Yeah.
I said that's exactly what I said. I said he was Eddie Bravo, but without like most of the information.
Jen Psaki going from press secretary to news anchor is almost like not as insidious, but the guy who approves the drugs going to the drug
I don't
company.
find that one nearly as gross.
Yeah, me either.
I truly I just
that's
No,
what
no,
I
I
said.
get it,
I
but-
said it's not nearly as gross.
I get it, but Joe
But it's
really
the same thing.
Joe, it's to me it's not even the same thing. Just hear me out. Like if
You're going from there to push the government's agenda to going to here. I'm now the press to push the government's agenda.
you're doing the same thing, so you've taken the same
Well, no,
job. But the difference is
when you're working for the government, I know what you're doing. When you move here, you're saying, now I'm just objective press, but you're doing the exact same thing.
Or she goes over there and she starts like doing real journalistic pieces and exposing that side. We don't know what's going to happen.
well, no, we know. Listen,
Or
if
do
she
we?
wasn't a journalist before, she's not. You don't just become a journalist over fucking night.
Well, she was being I'm steel manning this.
Yes,
she
you are.
was being held back by the government.
Okay.
They were telling her what she has to say, and now she's going to be a journalist. Where
pretty generous.
Theoretically, nobody tells you. what
Well,
to say,
if you know,
except the government.
if you know anything, she's not the first person. Everyone goes
I
from
don't-
press
I-
secretary to
I don't even know who she is.
doesn't matter.
I could care less. Every other
Tulsi's-
note was about her.
Tulsi seemed to think that people go from Hawaii. The poor people of Hawaii would rather go to Vegas to go to casinos. And I don't think the poor people of Hawaii are going anywhere. They have no lottery, no casinos, no because there isn't a lot of industry in Hawaii. maybe there could be more, but
It's crazy that
Way to
there
generate
aren't
money.
casinos. You would think it would be a big thing for them, you know?
I think their concern is it's good for tourism, but it's not the greatest for a local population that has trouble making ends meet.
I
Well, it
think
gives
it'd be
tons of
jobs.
jobs.
Yeah, that's what I think his state was.
Tons of jobs.
One thing we never got to experience, or maybe you did you? During the lockdown, no, Joe described being in California,
Okay.
you know, under whatever the strict restrictions. And then they went to Texas, and at the exact same time as you were like scared stuff, you're also in a place where no one cared. That'd be a weird sensation. I don't think we ever experienced
Well,
that here.
everybody was pretty similar in Canada.
Quebec, yeah, exactly. The strictness was across the board. You couldn't go to one place and go, why is everyone just walk around here
Yeah.
normal when we're there?
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, I went to Vegas, which was interesting because they had weird mask rules, but I went there during the rodeo. And so, like, half of Wyoming and
It's
Texas.
all the South is like, fuck this.
Yeah, like, none of them, like, I was at a roulette table one night, and the croupier kept being like, sir, please, you have to wear a mask. And this cowboy was just like, yeah, that's not happening. So, like, get a pit boss over here, do whatever you want. And they just let him go, which I thought was pretty funny.
It's interesting just as a commonality that all the blue states seem to be struggling more than red states. Crime, poverty, all these things. Progressive ideas aren't necessarily working, but maybe
Because when you
they need more
push
time.
too far, too fast, you end up with things like defund the police, where you don't think about the outcome, and you just act really quickly because you're trying to placate the mob, who's like so uber woke right now that.
Well, the problem is you mentioned poverty. A lot of those blue states already lived in poverty, and it was tough to get lower than where they already were. Kentucky, Mississippi.
Those are red states.
Yeah.
aren't
Sorry,
they?
but that's my point. Is I switched it around. What I meant was like he's acting like blue states are in all this trouble. They're doing worse than they were. I'm not going to deny that. But there's already a bunch of red states that are.
So not necessarily red state policies are working either.
Oh no! Listen, if you like, it depends what you believe or read. Like I've read that Florida's doing terribly, as far as based on what DeSantis has done for the state. But who knows?
See, I've heard totally differently. I have no idea.
No, I don't. That's it. I don't live there. I don't
That's
vote
crazy, eh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. What?
That's crazy.
You scoffed.
No.
That was a scoff.
I agree that's crazy. And then my next point was one of the things we learned from the trucker convoy is that like the division of church and state with law enforcement and politics. You know, we all thought like, why doesn't the mayor just tell them to do that? Like, you can't tell the police what to do. You can't just tell the army what to do. You have to
It's
get
a
system by
system.
government. It's a system.
It's the same way how the president can't just launch nukes.
But
off,
we're
right?
we're
Like,
watching the politicization of law enforcement in America, and people should be weary of it. It's everyone takes it for granted, like yeah, they all tell each other. That's why it's always in a movie or a TV show when the mayor meets with the police commissioner. It's a secret meeting. I never understood that. It's because they're not supposed to talk.
Right, yeah.
You're not supposed to have an influence.
You know how Tucker is now like, he's like a rebel, and he's like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
If he was really smart,
Yeah.
he'd change his name to Trucker Carlson and really just ride the whole wave.
Maybe.
Trucker Carlson.
I like that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I just thought of it right now.
I know it's Luis J. Gomez that brought it up, but that laugh of his really is like so.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's almost like creepy though.
It's disarming.
yeah, it really like you're like, ugh.
It's a pedo laugh. Come on, let's just say it.
Yeah, it kind of.
That is the laugh of a pedophile.
That's true. Yeah.
And now I'm not saying Trucker Carlson is a pedophile, but that laugh.
No, it's true. Like if Chris Hansen were in your kitchen, that's the kind of nervous laugh that you have 100%, right? Like, oh, hello.
It's true. It's like he's constantly in front of Chris Hansen.
Yeah. He's just waiting for the day Chris Hansen walks in there.
That's hilarious.
No, I'm sorry, Tucker. You're probably a great person.
Trucker
You're right.
Carlson. You like that, Kamar?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the gay thing was like, I was like, I think this is a bit too far there, Tucker. Like, I don't know what evidence this guy had that he fucked Obama and smoked crack with him.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of. But if you like the freedom of Twitter, he can say whatever the fuck he thinks
I know, but
or wants.
for if I was Tucker, I'd want to put something so incendiary out that I had receipts and
We count on Tucker. Sorry.
and it doesn't seem like exposing, like it's just like it seems homophobic almost, the approach to it, like what the motive is here after the fact.
I think most people trusted Trucker Carlson because he would give like an alternative view, but still within like the
Based in
reason
reality.
of the governing bodies or whatever you want to call it, you know? And when you have a guy like that on with zero proof, like unless you're coming with some pretty incontroversial, some real pictures or videos or, you know, not just your
Not that
word
you want that.
you pegged the ex-president, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that seems
Oh, wouldn't that be incredible if Tucker was like, I know he's gay because we fucked.
Now you're
Now
cooking.
we're
Yeah,
talking.
I
Now
know
we're
it's a
talking.
rumor 'cause I started
Here's
it.
a photo of Obama and I, ass naked.
and he's laughing. He's
That
laughing that
hedonism,
laugh
yeah.
as he gets pegged. Trucker Carlson.
It's interesting. Like at some point, the news would have been to cover elections and stuff, but now it seems to influence elections.
Well, of course, because the media is literally an arm of the military-industrial complex.
So would it not be a move?
I don't want to be that asshole though, but I'm pretty sure that's a Fox play. They invented that.
Yeah, sure.
Remember they announced that fucking Bush won Florida long before.
yeah,
was-
they
okay.
pushed the weapons of mass destruction. We would have never have known about that if it wasn't for Fox
This is what
News.
it comes down to. So maybe you can't have it so the media can no longer cover politics.
Okay.
You have to be a card carrying person. You have to be involved to know what, or at least with elections, they don't have that election night coverage. Like, cause it doesn't matter. It's not really news till it's all said and done. Right. Because you're saying
It's just conjecture.
projected to win.
Yeah.
So the news is a block out, and by law, there's a ceremony and they come out and say, this, who won the election.
I like it.
But people would say, oh, you're covering up. It's not transparent. That'd be the pushback.
Kamar, don't forget too, like that clip I showed you, you know,
No, that's exactly.
like that's them playing dirty.
They should
fucking,
not be
Yeah.
involved in politics, the news. I mean, so say, well, then how would we know to vote? You have to figure it out.
So how can we make politics work without all the money we get from our donors? Like you can make it work. If nobody has that money, then
So maybe
it's
you
not a
can't-
big deal.
Maybe you can't get the money out of politics, but if you got the news out of politics, that'd be a power move.
Well, I think you have to get it all out. I don't think you can just like have you know what I'm saying? Like you have to
Well, it's also interesting. They all the money in politics is for them to run ads on the news.
Exactly. You got to de-shitify politics. That's the way you're
Ain't gonna
gonna
happen.
And then what I never thought about is the federal government has nothing to do with the election.
Sorry, just hold on a second. It could totally happen. If you got
Won't.
to
How about this? Won't happen.
it won't happen, but it could happen.
The federal government has nothing to do with the actual election or running an election. I never thought about that.
What do you mean?
Well, you're not going to let the federal government decides.
Right, yeah.
It has to be
It's
like
the everybody else keeping the
states
federal
run it, and
government.
then here's your results.
Right.
Like you just having the it'd be like the pharmaceutical companies doing the inspections on themselves, sort of thing. And
I feel like the U.S. When it was making this experiment, it put into place all these really good checks and balances, and they have just been like totally walked over. You know what I'm saying? And people forget they even exist. So you don't even get angry about something like voter manipulation or whatever, because you don't even know that there's like supposed to be a whole, and again, I'm just making this up here, but like an amendment against it, you know?
another glaring thing was
That
that
sounded so stupid. I've never sounded more stupid in my life.
just we try to move on. Is that a briefing from 55 of the most senior intelligence officers saying this is lying to people? Like they should all be. The only other thing I can say is tarred and feather, but just done.
Tarred and feathered.
You're just, but not literally, but just you're done. Like
Yeah.
you're out of the conversation. You're not on the table anymore.
I wish that was the case, right? Like take
Reputation
take
matters.
Nancy Pelosi and her giant tits.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a woman who made more money than all the billionaires combined while she's in office.
And all the poor people in her city that she represents San Francisco.
We all see this. Like, we can all see it. You don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist. And this bitch and her big tits are going to get reelected. You know what I mean? Like, we do this all the time.
As long as it's not Trump.
This bitch and her big tits. Yeah.
But we do it all the time. We do it here. We've done it with Trudeau. Like, we all knew he was a crook and we still voted him back in, you know?
Well, everyone was under fear and duress at that time of that election, the last election.
Fair enough. He did call that at the perfect time to
there's no
scam
coincidence.
everyone.
There's no coincidence that the charges against Trump are political. Like, it's not people going, we just have to have justice. It's not about that at all. Or Hillary would have got busted for her servers and this and that. And the one thing I think is, if you watch CNN, they're who are the witnesses going to be? And next week's the arraignment, like covering the most mundane stuff. Imagine they'd covered Epstein and Ghislaine like that.
Wouldn't that have been nice?
And you'd think it'd be that's a more high profile,
way bigger
what
deal.
he's done. If law was going the way, he'd be fined. Maybe say you're banned from being president, but
I mean, it's not really about that, Kamar. It's all about.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But people don't see it as that, even though it's right in front of their face.
I guarantee you this. I guarantee you, if you do a poll right now, more than 50% of the population still believes that Russiagate was a legitimate thing. That he is responsible.
Which population? The American population?
The American population.
No way. No one thinks that. Or the people who watch CNN do, but that's
It's a
small.
million people.
I think you're crazy.
I think a lot more people are the yahoos that you think you're afraid of.
Oh, no.
Okay. And I thought it was telling when he asked her about her political
Affiliation.
political aspirations.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought she was going to say, I'm out of it. I just want to help Hawaii. But she should be the government of Hawaii, help them succeed or something. I mean, you know I'm a huge Tulsi stan. I've said it before.
You're a stan?
Yeah, like Eminem Stan.
On God.
He's gone cold. I'm wondering
please
why.
And
God did.
I thought it was nice, even though, as you say, BJ was a little bit clunky throughout this podcast. I thought he was coming from an earnest, sort of heartfelt place. He just cares about Hawaii. It was nice that he got his flowers being one
He
of the
was
baddest
like
ever.
Sam Tripoli on the
I guess I got to ask this.
fight companion, just constantly throwing out immigration riots.
Well, Tulsi was coming at it from more practical, and he was coming from passionate.
Yeah, okay.
I guess I got to ask this, Kamar. If you're a constituent in Hawaii and BJ Penn is like your guy, I get that he's like passionate and he's from Hawaii, but do you not wish you had someone maybe a little bit more articulate at least?
No. After the people we've seen run for government, it clearly doesn't matter.
No, it clearly does matter.
Someone
'cause-
who actually
No,
cares.
but hear me out.
Someone
I
who
know.
says the
You're
right
missing my
things
point,
the
though.
right way is not necessarily
I'm not
the
talking
best
about. I'm not
person.
talking about. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you want to help those people, you need to be able to articulate the best way to help them, how it can happen. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. What I'm saying is, there has to be a native Hawaiian like BJ Penn, who is not a political person, who is just slightly more articulate, who can say. Because if BJ Penn had come here alone, you wouldn't be sitting here saying like, "Oh, I really understand what will help the Hawaiian people right now."
I understand what you're saying, but the guy in Pennsylvania had a stroke, can't talk, and he got elected. So
When BJ Penn throws out those conspiracy theories when they're having like a legitimate conversation
help.
about
he's like a Trump.
yeah, I know it doesn't help him, it doesn't help Tulsi, like it just again, I like BJ Penn. He's fine. He just had no business on this podcast.
That's fair. I think they made an interesting case and didn't say it's this.
I give it a 2.5.
I mean, he would have if he could have.
Yeah, probably. I give it a 3. It was. I was fretting listening to it, and it was better than I thought.
I wanted more. Again, like, I get that she's in politics and that Joe probably doesn't want to. Like, Joe touched on it where he's like, yeah, there's a lot of like weird conspiracies about it. Like, yeah, why didn't anyone mention the fact that none of the rich people's homes got touched? Like, no one, not Tulsi.
I would say they didn't want to say anything that they could get sued for.
And
It's only you can only get sued if it's incorrect.
and how does Tulsi not even like put out there like Oprah owns this much land. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think that's
Like,
covering their ass. I think this could have got a higher score had they addressed Klaus Schwab.
you can't be sued for saying
address
somebody
Klaus Schwab.
owns this many acres in Hawaii.
But then it turns out it's an LLC owns it and they don't own it. I don't know, man. I'm just emailing you.
But I just don't know how
I
that's
think
slander.
it's Oprah The Rock did the whole thing.
The Rock did it.
Well,
That's
hey,
great.
Always bear in mind, America is so much more litigious than we are. So there's
course,
things
yeah.
that we say here that no one can sue for. It's weird, eh? Because they
can get sued for
more free
slander here.
speech. Yeah. Anyways,
But that's part of your First Amendment right, is being able to sue someone for slander. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong on the
this
amendment.
was from the horse's mouth about what's going on in Hawaii. I felt like without sparing BJ's conspiracies added in.
I agree with
Pretty cut
that.
and
But
dry.
I still, it could have been so much more in my opinion. Either way, I give it a 2. Simon, did you rate it?
And I don't know if I'm necessarily a Tulsi fan. I gotta say, like,
You don't have to.
I don't find her as genuine as everybody else does. I don't think.
I think she's on the clock.
I
And
think-
I think
Fair enough. There you
I think
go.
if you weren't such a stan, you would have put her on the clock a long time ago.
Well, she's being suppressed by all the social media companies. That was
My
not her
triple
fault.
love.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to pay a bill, and we'll be right back. Come on, name and a number, please.
231, Luis J. Gomez.
So it is true though, Kamar. From now on, you're only going to be the last year's winner.
Always a winner. You can't take that away.
But you just took it away from someone.
That's what I mean.
I
She
I-
was
no,
last year's winner, and then you'll be last year's
I
winner.
share the winning with all the winners, but there
Gotcha.
can only be one.
Yeah.
All right. Luis J. Gomez. Let's do this.
It's funnier for you because you saw his end of his special. Oh, I forgot to say with BJ Penn conspiracy theory is a plot spoiler. I thought that was a good tag. Maybe not his, but
He said it about, I don't know, 15 times during the podcast. Like Joe didn't get it the first time. He didn't laugh. So he just kept trying it and trying it.
I'll get him. Okay, go ahead, Kamar. Kamar doesn't like
Louis
he doesn't
J.
like you
Gomez.
talking ill of BJ Penn.
I like BJ Penn. I just found like he was trying a little too hard or something
Yeah. We have an agreement.
between the two of us.
Yeah.
they talked about weed and legal weed, which has surprisingly been a smooth transition. It sounds. I'll say the one thing I love about New York City and big city America is any corner store has everything you need to survive.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a scarcity like the designated place that sells the alcohol will close at this time.
Well, that's the whole point of the bodega, right? Is it has kind of everything under one roof and it's open
And
all
now
the
it has
time and
weed.
it's near you.
And now it has weed.
yeah, so is that legal weed though that's being sold at the bodegas?
I believe they said it was a gray area like it was here for a while.
It's like loose cigarettes, Simon.
Yeah,
Definitely
no.
not
I
legal.
get it.
And imagine a list of priorities of trying to enforce that when it is legal in New York City.
Well, we have the
Or in
same
New York.
fucking problem here.
There aren't bodegas here like it is in
No,
New York.
no.
so-
But nobody's doing anything about the gray market. It's not a concern for the authorities.
But there's no longer a gray market. Like there's no more gray market.
Stores.
Yes.
There's only one, actually.
Oh, is there?
And it's because it's owned by Native Canadians.
Oh, that's a little
And
bit
they're
different.
playing a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
different card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying. Like they're like what he said. Like if every bodega in Ottawa, if every 7-Eleven was selling,
So how are any of the legal stores surviving if every bodega sells?
fucking 10 million people in the city, 8 million people.
Yes, yeah, okay, sure.
I'm just saying that makes probably a lot of tourism, a lot of.
But I was just saying, you walk in there at midnight and grab a couple Bud Lights or whatever.
A couple of Buds. Well, no,
And Bud-
now
and
it's
Buds
Buds.
now.
Yeah.
It's just the best.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Quebec is very similar.
I mean, it makes New York so much better now that you can just buy weed everywhere. And I imagine not at like cocaine prices here, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, when I lived in New
Because
York,
I've
the
told you
weed
that
prices were out of control.
story, right? We went there, they had some service. We're like looking at the weed. We're like, okay, we'll take a whatever, I don't know, a half. And they're like, okay, that'll be $700. And we're like, okay, whoa, hold on a sec. Give us 3 grams of that. And what else do you have? And they're like, oh, they had everything. And the Coke was like, I don't know, something ridiculous, like $40 a gram. And the weed was like $300.
Ridiculous.
Well, I wasn't there. I was trying to remember. I was there.
Not this time. This was me and
I was like, I don't remember buying a bunch of $40
or
Coke.
saying no. I was like, are you sure?
What's going on here?
we went to Vermont to get our weed. Kamar.
Oh, I remember well, man.
No, but Simon, when I lived in New York and I got the delivery service weed, it was like $70 for an eighth delivered to my
it's
house.
so
The weed
ridiculous.
was really good. I remember thinking that. I remember like
It was really.
I remember thinking at least it's really good, but fuck me, like it was so expensive for me to
but
smoke
it's
weed.
like literally 10 times the price is what we're paying here.
yeah.
You know, well, 7 times the price, whatever it was.
Do you guys think you hate Metallica?
I do. I dislike them with a passion. Put them on the list with Israel Adesanya. Like I would get up and cheer if somebody was beating the shit out of them.
I like Metallica. I don't like them in their older years, but whatever, they rock. But do you know the one video that Lewis was talking about?
Yeah, one.
I think you might even know
It's
it.
crazy. That song is fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
It's
and
a crazy song.
And I think that was sort of like Joe didn't want to talk about Metallica.
But I
He
didn't
doesn't
like it.
No,
Like
no,
I can
no.
appreciate that it was fucking bonkers.
Just the whole the video and the song, it all works so well together.
I
Right?
just I mean it was
But you don't know what we're talking about with
No.
this?
it's a scene from like a movie where somebody is dying or something, and then the song is all about like I don't even remember.
The
some
guy has all his
lost
hands
his arms and legs or
in his
something.
face. Everything's blown off, and all he can do is nod his head.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Yeah, and think about Metallica doing it in their like over British gravelly voice.
Did you say British?
Gravelly.
Oh, my breath inside waits for death.
Please God help me. And then you got little Lars.
You don't know that at all?
This stupid fucking face.
I take
can't
it all back.
stand him.
You're a music man.
Sounds more like a Creed song. that
Okay,
you guys
the
were
old
singing.
song.
Old
There's no way
music, I know.
I could have this conversation.
I
with
just
this
don't
amazing-
listen to any new music. That is what you can say. That is true.
Simon no longer listens to new music. That's what we can
And
say.
has not in a long time.
And
Any
hasn't in
new
a long
music
time, okay.
Simon listened to was given to him by people like Kamar.
People
and-
like Kamar.
And then
That's
and now
cosign.
like examples. So he played who's that British rapper?
Jamie T.
Jamie T back in the game.
Okay.
Love that song.
Okay.
Usually I would buy the album, listen to I never got anything. I just kept listening to that song. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not
You
out
find
there
what you like and you like it.
searching new shit till I actually hear it in my head. And I don't you've stopped.
You're not a music person. I get it. I'm not mad
Okay,
at you.
shut the fuck up. You did it again. You son of a bitch. This whole football thing. It's
No, I'm
like
listening
really
to you. We're
distracting.
We're totally
No,
listening
man,
to every
I'm
word
in,
you're
I'm in,
saying.
I'm-
The guy who wears sunglasses to most fucking podcasts is complaining about football in the background.
And yet I'm engaged.
I'm engaged.
Are you? You're engaged in the football games. Who's
I
winning? Are
said
the
to you-
Bengals winning?
I don't know because I'm not paying
Oh,
attention.
do you not know?
No, I don't.
No, they're not winning.
They're not winning. No.
Okay, let's
Fucking
go.
cunt.
Let's get to this.
So they're talking about Metallica, and then they talked about them playing the music to oust Manuel Noriega, and that's sort of there's places downtown where they just play a weird, constant sound.
At the end of our reign at 7-Eleven,
Oh yeah, they
our
used to
reign
play,
of
yeah,
terror, they started playing
classical music,
all the time.
Yeah.
Do you guys think you have a playlist that you would not want to fall into your enemy's hands for fear that they would inflict this on you? Any music you could rock to? I'd be Baby Shark.
Oh, well, that
that's
sort
a
of shit.
terrible
Yeah.
song.
Baby Shark. Who do you?
That would drive
I'll
you
name
insane.
names.
I'll name names. Yeah.
We used to have to listen to a lot of kids' music in my former occupation, and
Yeah, I would
sometimes
imagine, yeah.
like the Christmas music would just drive me up the fucking wall, man.
Yeah.
And there's just only so much, so it
Beatles
ends
Christmas
up
song.
on like a loop.
The Beatles Christmas song. That could simply having.
I will
a wonderful
kill you.
Christmas
I will
time
kill
is
you.
now stuck in your head. It's the worst song.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I didn't know that was the Beatles.
You've been arrested.
Have I
I've been
arrested?
detained.
You've been cuffed.
I've been
I
cuffed.
have been cuffed, but I've never been to jail.
You've never been to jail. You've been to jail.
No.
You back of a car.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in the back of a car many times,
Back of a car, but
but
then
I get let out usually.
Saner has
It's
prevailed.
usually just to scare you.
you never went to lock up.
No.
Never went to lockup.
Nor has Joe.
No, that doesn't surprise me at
his
all.
nose
This is
clean.
a man who pulled his hoodie at his
Just gonna
job
say that.
and
As soon as
walked
the hood
out
goes on,
to
Joe
avoid
is out of
convo-
there. Yeah, later.
To avoid any sort of what's the word?
Conflict.
Conflict.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was thinking confliction.
Close.
Yeah, it didn't seem right.
It seems like a passage, though, right? Rite of passage.
Going to jail?
Maybe not going to jail. I mean, definitely not getting a record.
I mean, it's definitely a rite of passage for you.
I've been to jail a lot.
I know.
I'm an ex-con.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it seemed like in the upper middle class white neighborhood we grew up in, it seemed like a lot of people got arrested.
I mean, yeah, no. Considering the amount of crime that was going on, hardly anyone got arrested.
No, but sometimes it'd be just you get cuffed outside a party for telling the cop to fuck off.
Or the drunk tank was a big one. Like a lot of the boys ended up in the drunk tank. Just a night to sober up,
that's
and then they
jail.
let you
That's
go.
jail.
Okay, I wasn't saying it was me. I'm just
oh,
saying
you never-
that happened to a lot of
No
people.
charges, just sleep it
Yeah,
off.
like as the amount of people who got charges, I think is pretty
Maybe tickets.
pretty small.
No, but I'm not saying charges. Like if you spent the night in jail in the drunk tank, that's still going to jail.
I once was
You're talking about criminals.
working in Almont at a restaurant
Almonte,
the boys owned.
Yeah.
And I had a sweet cutlass.
That's what I met Kamar in, the Cutlass.
And
No, that's not right.
the muffler was fucked, so it was really loud, like, but badass car. And I'm finished a crazy shift. I'm going back to Ottawa to party, and I have a big 2-paper just lit as I'm tearing out of town. And just as I get to like the last intersection before you get to the city limits, I get pulled over by the cops, and they find the joint and they cuff me on the side of the road for 2 hours. Well, the whole town drove back and forth, like rubbernecking to see what was going on, like ruined my reputation. I got a $500 fine, had to go like to Renfrew court. Like, you haven't seen court till you go to like small town court.
What was the first big car you had? Like was it an Oldsmobile?
No, it was a Caprice.
A Caprice
Classic.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That thing was amazing.
Dude, when I lived in Toronto, we drove out to like the lake shore, and we were smoking a joint in this park. And we were rolling a joint on the back of my buddy's car, like on his trunk. And out of nowhere, these two like park ranger cops pulled out of fucking nowhere, and they cuff each one of us. And they're like, "The cops are on their way. You guys are fucked. You're not allowed to be here, let alone be fucking doing weed here." And as he's like, "You're not allowed to be smoking weed here," my buddy like gently nudges my arm, and I look at the trunk of the car, and there's like just a little breeze coming through. And like the weed is sitting in the paper, and I can see the paper like slide like a foot across the trunk, and I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, come on!" And then like just the follow up breeze, just everything off the trunk, and I saw the paper like disappear. I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" And so I look at the guy, and I'm like, "What weed?" He's like, "The fucking weed you guys are," and you can see him look back, and he's like, he's so bummed. He's like, "What the fuck?" And the cop showed up. He's like, "Without weed, like they're just in the park." And the guy was so pissed. That was the one time we got away. That was nice.
You know who knew?
Who?
God did.
Yeah, God. Kamar, you picked us up in that Caprice once, literally at the corner of Homewood and Bank Street, okay? Mm-hmm. And we get in the car. He's like older than us, so it's like a big deal. We're getting a ride, down to 7-Eleven. Like
From this old dirty
don't
guy,
have
yeah.
to walk. So he slams on the gas. Donuts twice, like just spins.
Oh, in the winter. It was in the middle of winter.
Spins out. And before we even get to the bridge, we just are like, "Oh, we'll walk. That's fine. We're good. We're good."
They didn't realize how irresponsible it
Not
was.
even a block.
in the dead of winter.
Yeah, like
that's
we really
incredible.
wanted
Yeah.
that ride.
Yeah.
But I didn't trust
Not
him
that
going
bad.
over that bridge.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's crazy how smoking used to be. You just remember the tail end, but smoking in bars,
Insane.
I remember smoking in bars.
Everywhere.
smoking bars,
Just smoking everywhere.
And that's a positive thing the government has done
Your
in our
parents
lifetime.
smoking
that
in the
made
car with you,
good.
Kamar?
So it's evidence it can happen.
Did either of your parents smoke?
Yeah, probably. But when I was way young.
Like my dad smoked. I can remember, him having the window open this much in the car,
My parents didn't smoke, but I definitely remember, I remember you'd go to a restaurant and they'd be like, smoking section or non-smoking? Like, it was such a joke. You're like, well, what's the difference? Like, they're like, oh, well, no one's smoking on that. So the whole restaurant was.
What's the difference? There's a stanchion.
We have a velvet rope that the smoke
We've
will
divided
not
the
cross.
room in
Yeah.
half. This is smoking.
Yeah.
This is non-smoking. What don't you get?
But dude, I remember going to Babylon and I remember Nat Soul working behind the bar with a cigarette dangling from her
Well
mouth,
serving.
making drinks, huge granny ash hanging off. Yeah,
See, I don't think that was supposed to happen. I still don't think the staff was supposed to smoke.
But it was gross, dude. I remember Babylon, they'd clean out the ashtrays every 10 minutes. Dude, you would just stand at the bar and fucking chain
That's so
smoke
crazy.
cigarettes.
That doesn't seem like very long ago.
It was 20.
I know it was because
25 years ago.
30 years doesn't seem like
It's just
very long
it's
ago.
just a real example of change implemented. I mean, cigarettes is ridiculous how much they are, but
The best was when they did that. There were so many loopholes that, I remember the New Den, the strip club. They were you pay a $1 a year membership
you're a
fee,
member.
and it was a private club, and therefore you could smoke cigarettes there. They
kept it going.
They kept it going for at least 6 years. I remember my dad being like, "Let's go to the New Den," and I was like, "Oh, I can smoke in there. Fuck yeah."
Joe tried to freak Lewis out about saying how Jupiter is actually protecting us, and then if Jupiter wasn't there, then we'd be
Totally fucked. Yeah.
pelted by meteors, which is sort of what a good coincidence.
We were just talking about this last night. We always talk about the younger Dryas. This idea that 10,000 years ago, there was this cataclysm that caused an ice age and we had to rebuild civilization. Those were comets coming from the sky. That was 10,000 years ago. In the big scheme of things, those were human beings. That wasn't that long ago. They had a civilization. They thought they were doing great. They might have been around for 1 million years for all we know. And all it takes is
Yeah.
3 pieces of an asteroid that gets by Jupiter and we're fucked.
But we feel that we would know for a year.
We'd
that
have a
it was
1 year.
coming?
Would you want to know?
Is that how long you know from Jupiter to here?
I'm doing
is a
arbitrary.
year?
We could know it for 13 years. We could
Yeah.
know it. I don't know what it would be. I'm just
No, Simon.
saying it could not in the middle of the night. Well, we think.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
is it
They'd
like-
have to tell us if they
Well,
didn't
maybe they
tell us.
don't know.
I mean, listen, Simon, this is the thing. 13 years is too far away because you would never know the trajectory. It's so far away that if it's off by even a degree, then it's going to miss Earth by so far.
Yeah.
I believe what Kamar's saying about the year. Yeah, we would probably, if they were going to tell us, we would probably know at least within a year, 6 months, that sort of thing. Again, do you want to know?
No, I don't like anything to do with this situation. I'm just wondering if is it impossible for something to sneak up on us?
I think it is.
An asteroid, you mean?
Some sort of natural thing. It's obviously not impossible for Oumuamua
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
pretending to be an asteroid.
I don't.
or-
I believe that with the satellite technology we have, I would assume that we would know if something was.
That's what we're assuming.
Again, that's
and
my
that's
assumption.
the
I don't
huge
know shit.
assumption that we have some sort of ability to monitor space.
All
And-
angles.
And I very much believe deep in my heart that that's not the case. That's a blankie that they've given us so we can sleep at night and not have to worry about things like that. But if we never, you know what?
I just don't think.
Who knows how far our radars actually go in space? That's all I'm saying.
Bottom of the ocean, hot or cold?
Probably
very
hot.
cold.
Shouldn't
At
it be
some-
hot? Should it
some
be really
spots,
hot?
yeah.
Should be really hot, eh?
You would think so.
No,
but it
you're
doesn't
doing
get
that
any
because
sun.
you
but
think
is
it's
it really
that
that
much
close
closer
to the Earth?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He thinks it's that close to the crust of the Earth. I don't believe that. You think
It's
that.
close.
You want
Closest.
to hear something crazy? Get this, okay? So I've been listening to this podcast about ancient civilizations, and they were talking about Greece. Well, he was saying that any civilization that's worth its salt, that's
Yeah.
going to survive, is going to have some sort of water complex. That
Probably,
it
yeah.
has to have an irrigation thing. It has to share water. That's how things really get done, because he believes that everything kind of worked off of vibrations and things like that, and the water was essential. Okay. So under Greece, under Egypt, because they believe that the pyramids are some sort of machines to do something, and every pyramid in Egypt, all 300 of them or however many there are all machines that were working for some community or whatever. They were all connected by these underground tunnels, and the tunnels were already there from the people before. They were like canal systems underground.
Okay.
And this guy says that they've tried to like go as deep as possible, and these tunnels just keep going and going and going and going. And if that's the case,
Does it get
like,
warmer and warmer and warmer?
That's all Kamar cares
I
about.
don't know,
It's all
man.
Kamar cares about.
I
That's
don't
right.
know.
You're spot on there, sir.
Just very fucking interesting.
Well, Kamar, I got to ask you, sorry to cut you off. If it was super warm at the bottom of those tunnels, the way heat works is it rises. So it would be very warm throughout the tunnel, would it not?
Yeah, you assume, but you also say because there's no light, it's cooler.
But it would be like a chimney.
You would think if the center of the Earth is a molten core hotter than the sun, yeah, you think that. You think the closer you get to that, the warmer it gets.
Well, again, but how thick, how deep is the Earth?
I don't know.
Well, but that's my question.
Man. No one knows.
Fucking
No
guy.
one knows.
My point is,
you just might not
that's my
feel
point.
the heat.
My point
Is your point?
my point is, if you just dig 4 kilometers down, it
You
doesn't
cannot. Can't do that.
I
Well,
said,
apparently
just
these tunnels
theoretically.
go way more
No, I
than
think
4
it's 12
kilometers.
kilometers. 12 kilometers is the deepest I ever went.
Okay.
And the bit started melting.
Okay, so that is hot enough then, isn't it?
No, is that because it's hot? It's because the rock got harder and it couldn't get, because when you're going through something too hard, your bits are going to melt.
Or you're hitting ancient steel.
All they could say is they say the
That's fucking interesting.
ancient steel. They say the Earth is
Simon,
this.
I knew
they
you'd
say
like
the
that.
They say the Earth is this big.
Yeah.
Make a diameter,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now you cut that in half, and that's how you know where the center is of the circle. And
Sphere, yeah.
at some point, that starts, but no one knows. Like no one has ever known because no one is, or people do know because they get there through Antarctica. I don't know.
But what do you mean no one knows? If, like you said, if we know that the Earth is a basic sphere other than the mountains and the altitude,
There's no science that proves that there's a
nobody's
molten
going
core.
down there. It's kind of like how
do you know
nobody's
that there's no-
exploring the
It's
oceans.
the assumption that's how planets are made. That's what the inside of planets are. So therefore,
Okay,
if it's
fine.
like that, it's impossible to know.
We can't find out. It's so true.
Okay,
the
fine.
middle
Yeah,
of
you're right.
the Earth
You are
could be
right.
filled with cottage cheese. We don't know.
We don't know.
Because we're never going to fucking get down there.
Very unlikely.
Yeah.
Could be full of fucking chihuahuas.
Dinosaurs
that'd be
could
cool.
have built subway systems.
yeah,
We don't
know.
fucking
You're
know.
right. I can't know.
I don't know what has a better probability, frankly. The center of the Earth being cottage cheese or dinosaurs building subway systems.
But thank you to Jupiter. Shout out for protecting us. At this point, Lewis starts interviewing Joe. Always a bit of a
Problem.
But to Lewis's credit, he put his special out.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to sell it at all. I think he mentioned at the very end, he was there for the conversation, act like he'd been there before, and I think that deserves credit.
Well, you just gave it to him.
And he
Well, he deserves it.
and he didn't know thing about how great the club was. Maybe he had not played there yet, but there's none of that.
Yeah,
Or
that's
maybe
true.
he's not headlining the club.
He's not part of that walled garden.
Kamar. Maybe they don't deem him as good enough.
I
to-
don't think he. I don't know if he's not good enough, but he played there. Like,
Oh, he played there. Oh, so it's fine.
He just
Don't worry
hadn't
about it.
yet, was
My
Kamar's
bad.
but
My
you
bad.
know, sometimes conversations are mired down by telling Joe how great the club is and him saying how great it is, but there's these things, and
Yeah.
we avoided that.
God did.
Yeah, God.
He's a proud father for sure.
Yep.
Space tourism, no way you'll go.
I'm not
No
going.
Fucking way.
That's just ridiculous.
No way. Even if it came down to like you got to blast off into space, that's the only way we can survive. I think I would just drive my bike off the roof, if you know what I'm saying.
Like I would.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying. Kamar, you got to move on. If you want to give Parks any sort of...
Move on, man.
Oh yeah, no, they were just talking about taxis, and his uncle got a hammer to the head.
Yeah,
and
a
he said
gypsy cab.
and the hole never healed.
Brutal.
I wonder if that guy's, he must still be alive because he would have said he passed away, and it speaks to Miss Keating's thing about drilling a hole in your head. Like it doesn't heal.
What did they call that? What was the name of that? art of putting
can't
holes
remember.
in your head?
I don't remember.
Fuck Shia LaBeouf is hilarious.
Yep.
Unemployed crocodile hunter. Post Malone.
So funny.
David Lucas sometimes just hits at it. AIDS was a crazy scare. Were you just on the tail of it? But it was such a right as I was getting to the age of like promiscuity and my sexual revolution was AIDS was really predominant.
No, for me it was. I remember they made us get vaccinated for Hep C. That was like the big scare. Hepatitis C is a real bad rap.
Dude, that's the scam that fucking RFK talked about on his thing.
I
Is
know.
the Hep C shot
Yeah.
because it was made for the gay people. They didn't want to take it, so they were like, "Yo, Gov, we built all these factories." And nobody's buying our vaccines. And they were like, oh, yeah, don't worry. We'll just make it mandatory for the kids.
Yeah.
You never know when they're going to be sharing needles and fucking each other in the ass.
Which coincidentally is how I like to spend my weekends.
Yeah, but it wasn't when you were
That's true. Yeah.
2
No,
or
you're right.
1.
You're right. You're right.
Trepanation is the name of the art of drilling holes in people's heads.
Another sick band name.
Trepanation?
yeah.
Or the art of drilling holes in people's heads.
That's the subtitle to the band name.
We have a new band, by the way, if you want to be in it.
The subtitles?
That's good,
What
too.
was the name of it?
No, it's called Wolves to Whales.
Yes, Wolves to Whales
that-
is our band.
that's-
We're,
like I
we're
said.
trademarking it.
Yes, that is our band.
I am the singer.
I play bass.
You had me on a low. Take
No,
my money.
I don't think I want to be the singer now that I think about it.
Yeah, you have a terrible voice and you
Terrible
hate music.
voice.
So how are you going to be the fucking lead singer?
gotta be I'm the triangle player.
Take my money.
Wolves to Whales. We're actually not gonna have a band. We're just gonna make merch. Agreed?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah,
Fucking right.
That's a great.
That's a great
Raised
idea,
by wolves.
actually.
You been to Jamaica?
No.
You been to Jamaica? We're just trying to get through. Lewis loves Jamaica. He did a crazy acid trip. And he was talking about
I love the guy. The
doing all
guy.
these equations and like what if it was?
I just love how he's like, yeah, my buddy took like a huge spray. I took a huge spray. And then the guy that sold it to us looked at us and said, don't pay me. You didn't get it from me. He just walked away.
Save the rest for the poster.
Okay.
Really? That's it?
Oh no, I have a lot more.
You said you wanted out.
Well, okay, fine. Yeah, you're right. We got to, yeah.
Yeah. Just jujitsu is the best thing to do.
But you don't do it. So
Jeez.
you don't know. Like,
know, but
like the center of the earth being molten lava, you don't know that.
Just the fact that you do it full blast when you're doing it, and you could get injured if. Do you see the one that guy fell over on his elbow and
No, I would have puked.
it was
How
a
I
weird
popped
throw.
my shoulder for the first
Yes, man, I
time.
remember
Because
that.
of you.
I'm so
Really?
sorry.
You're the
I'm
reason
so
his
sorry.
shoulder's bad.
But
Yikes.
My
Jiu-jitsu,
original right shoulder. He was the first one to dislocate.
jiu-jitsu, you do it full bore. So if you happen to get involved in a real situation, it's not like you do your katas and that's all good, but you've never, because striking, you risk hurting each other.
Unless you're Sean Strickland, and then you just
Sean
don't.
Strickland.
Strickland, you
you
just
must-
don't give a fuck.
You must feel amazing if you have a blue belt.
Yeah.
If they can, the blue belt could kill 90% of the population or defend themselves from a population. And anyways,
Would you rather know jiu-jitsu or like Muay Thai?
jiu-jitsu.
Really, eh? Because you'd think in a fight, like on the street, where you're going to get in all your fights, you'd rather be standing than like putting yourself on the
Well,
ground.
especially if the
then
fight
somebody
is a-
could come and stomp you in the face like
Well, I was
one
just
of
going
their
to say
friends.
the
you
problem with
know?
If you swarm
jujitsu.
it.
The problem with jujitsu is jujitsu is
One-on-one.
great one-on-one.
Can you call it what it is?
Jujitsu?
Thank you.
It's great one-on-one. You're probably going to dominate most people one-on-one, but the second you are outnumbered, I think the Muay Thai outweighs the Jiu-Jitsu.
And you're on the ground with other people around you on their feet. It just doesn't sound like a good idea.
The only advantage, though, is that the Jiu-Jitsu might help you not get taken down,
Fair enough.
right? So at least in a street fight, you're still
I
on your
say
feet the
no
whole time.
both,
Yeah, well, for sure.
but I think you'll end up using your fists more than you would. What do I know? I don't
I think the idea is that if you know jujitsu, you're more capable of de-escalating a situation. Whereas Muay Thai, like, you're gonna have to KO someone.
See, I've seen a lot of fights in my day, like personally.
Yeah.
But it was all before Jiu-jitsu.
took
So
off.
I don't know if like on the street today people are like
Well, if it's that
Choking
case, it
each
might
other
be
out?
Aikido or whatever. Steven
With
Scott
a
used to-
sword?
No, where you're just breaking people's wrists and weird holds.
I think Aikido is the sword, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
I
I'm
don't think
talking
so.
my ass.
I think Kamar's right.
Thought you used that.
Maybe you're right. Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
Let's move on.
What do you rate it then? Rate it, Simon.
I will give it a 2.5.
I give it a 3.
I give it a 3. I like Luis J. Gomez.
Yeah, I like him too, but you're not going to.
I like that he finally, the
guilt
one
me
in
into
closing,
a higher score.
it was good that he finally was like, yeah, jujitsu made me realize, like, I used to think I was a tough guy because I always remember him being like a super hothead ready to fight fucking anyone.
Always. He
Yeah.
wanted. That's the joke, right? The best joke ever is with Nate Bargatze, where he takes a bite of
Yeah,
his
the hamburger. Yeah.
If that guy's taking bites of people's hamburger, he wants to fight you.
Yeah. The Bengals are done, Simon. It's over.
It
22
would
to 3.
appear.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
There go all our hopes and dreams.
Yeah. All right. Last one of the week. Protect our parks.
2030, Protect Our Parks, Part 9.
This whole Protect Our Parks, 5 hours of it, the Shane Gillis doing the impersonation of the Irish guy is
But he's doing an impression of Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but it's
so good.
which just goes to show how impressions work.
well, he said he was like, this guy sounded just like Conor McGregor. So
Well,
that's
they all sound like Conor McGregor, not to sound racist. Yes, that's a highlight of the show.
yeah, that was
it's
hilarious.
it's almost wasteful to do.
I'm gonna say, listen, I like Mark Norman. I
Yeah.
find his comedy specials are good.
yeah.
He is so annoying. Like it's too much, man. It's
I don't know.
Too much.
I think it's just sort of like cute autism.
Yeah.
I just find it too much.
He's always on.
He's always on.
Always on.
Like I think that's the beauty of Shane is he's like seems like he's never on.
Yeah, he's just Shane.
And same with Ari. Like they're not out there trying to make jokes. They're just
I'm with
funny
you, yeah.
dudes, you know? And Mark Norman could be that. He's a funny guy. He's quick, but he just says every fucking thing that comes to his head. Like first thought, best thought is not always the best way.
I don't know. I think he's the ultimate comedian where like he'll get out of 10, he'll get one that really hits and then he'll make a bit out of it. That's how he's just, I don't know.
And for sure, in writing, you write more. That you don't just write gold.
No, I guess. If,
Exactly. Simon thinks
okay,
he's
you know what? No problem. So use every other podcast to do your writing. But when you come on Parks,
That's
Just-
what he's there for. He's just there. To
be yourself.
I would have thought that a fellow indoor sunglasses wearer would have really appreciated
Bring it up,
the art.
Gmo.
The very first thing I said is I really like Mark Norman.
Okay,
I
just
bet
checking.
we could be friends.
Yeah.
I find on this podcast he's like more Mark than he normally is.
Yeah.
Than
It's
he
a big
normally
stage
is.
Than he normally is. That's amazing.
You're welcome.
That's amazing.
That's exactly what he would say. They talked.
That's going to be the first song we put out for Wolves to Whales. It's going to be called Mark Normally.
Mark Normanley.
Normanly.
There's no songs coming out because it's just merch.
Well, we're going to do a fake album.
Yeah, of course.
We won't actually make the songs, but we'll name them all.
Dude,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
American Gladiators. They talked about that. How they make no money. Hulk Hogan was the host of the reboot of
Interesting.
American Gladiators. So a bit of a missed opportunity there. Just saw it a couple weeks ago. For those just joining the show.
Oh, how much of a missed opportunity it was.
Ninja Warrior. I don't know why that isn't. I guess it is huge. It's just on
American Ninja
NBC,
Warrior is
but
big.
I find that very impressive.
I love watching
whatever.
it.
It's,
great times.
always the littlest person that can do it.
Yeah, you're carrying less weight.
Do you think that would be exception rule? Kids are weaker because they don't have mandatory phys ed. I don't know what it is now.
It's weird when Joe said that, though. He was like, you look at photos of kids now. Like, listen, if you pick and choose photos of kids now, I could line you up 100 U.S. high school students
They're
that
still
you would
freaks.
be like, that is a 30-year-old
Yeah,
man with 2 kids who's paid taxes for the last 12 years. Like, dude, remember that kid last year? With like a full
Kids have to be
mustache.
bigger now.
He was
Kids
like,
are way bigger.
Yeah, it's so
No. But you go back to
By
the
and large,
80s
hold on.
before like fast food has become.
I get it. By and large, like if you took the general population of American high school students, I bet they're not in as good shape as they were for sure. But dude, the U.S. is filled with freak,
With tiny little men?
No, freak high school athletes.
No,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's true at all. And people know more health, exercise.
Dude, knees over toes guy is free on Instagram. That anyone can, you know what I mean? I don't know.
like smoking went away, bottled water came in.
Yeah.
I remember there was no bottled water.
Fuck no.
And it was like, what do you do?
They would offer you like sparkling water, maybe at a fancy restaurant.
Perrier.
you know?
Perrier
Yeah.
did exist for a while, which was sort of weird.
Well,
Like,
no,
why
but
would you
it had
bother?
bubbles in it. You were paying for the carbonation.
But there was club
you know?
soda.
Well, club
Yeah, but
soda
even
is
then, that
disgusting.
didn't come out of the tap. You had to buy club soda.
Yes.
Well,
that's the
Perrier
only
didn't
water.
come out of the tap either.
I know, but my point, he was like, well, Perrier, you were saying you paid for the bubbles, and he was like, no, you would just get club soda. My point was club
right,
soda, you had
yeah.
to
You
buy
had to
for an
pay
extra.
for it
Yeah,
too,
it wasn't like a.
And club soda has like all sorts of like other shit in it. I think Perrier was pretty close to just water, but I could be wrong.
That came out with bubbles in it.
Well, it had carbonation for sure. I don't know. Anyways, I think they put like more sugar in.
Fluoride.
I could be wrong.
Fluoride, lowering your IQ, the damage has been done. I mean, you can fight and stop it, but if we've all been drinking fluoride water for the last 40 years.
Well, yeah, but maybe if they stop doing it now, we won't end up with like Biden and Trump as president. You know,
I do have to
not
start.
us, not us, them.
We really, and I know that we shouldn't do this, but I'm going to, because I'm a fan of Joe. I like him. I like his show. So I'm going to shit on him for a second. This episode starts great. Everyone's firing on all cylinders. Sounds like they're already wasted. It sounds like they came from the club to do this. And within 5 minutes, Joe's like, I think it's all about the phthalates. It's making men's taints smaller. And I was like, why are you doing this right now?
They could talk about anything.
Like,
and
why
that's
are
what he
you? Yeah,
chooses to
what?
talk
What's
about.
Ben Killer Jones.
me
Yeah.
or him?
No, Joe,
Oh,
Joe
yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, we get it, Joe. Plus, they all heard you already 6 months ago when you had the lady on.
I think he feels like he's like preaching, you know?
Okay, fine.
And really, these guys just want to fucking talk about like dicks and,
Yeah,
you know,
cock
farts.
jokes. Yeah, a couple of cock jokes.
Then he used an example of putting sunscreen in apples, but I think that'd be a good thing. If we all just naturally got sunscreen.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's really a good idea.
Why don't they put sunscreen in the water?
Why not? Why not?
Save everybody from skin cancer.
Exactly.
Sounds like a great
I'm almost
fucking
dead
idea.
serious.
I'm being totally serious.
If it was proposed, like we
Why not
accept
put
that.
vitamin D in it?
And I like how Joe's
Like my
just
dick.
like, well, everybody could just brush their teeth. Well, of course, everybody can just brush their teeth, but you know that people don't always have those opportunities or don't do it. So if fluoride wasn't bad for you, like if it wasn't fucking up your brain, it was only fixing your teeth.
But hold on, I'm just
that's
curious.
great.
Is his argument that you should only take fluoride in your toothpaste and that that's somehow better for you? Because you're
'cause
still
the-
ingesting.
No, but the fluoride they're putting in the water is obviously filled with some like CIA elixir,
nanobots.
you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The old nanobots.
Which may be true. Like we
why
know
not?
that they were giving fluoride. The Nazis were giving fluoride to their people. So was that because they wanted them all to have strong teeth, or is that because fluoride makes people more susceptible to new ideas or something like that?
I like that.
Yeah.
Makes them better
is
workers.
exactly why they'd want to do it here, you know, or in the United States. Just like, don't worry, we're sending all our manufacturing over to China. Just have a little more fluoride.
Just drink some water.
I never realized Bill O'Reilly was 6'4".
No, he's a big dude.
I didn't realize. I thought he was like a short guy.
Exactly, a shout, angry guy, but
Yeah.
he's this huge guy. Could not imagine what a menacing presence. He
Oh my
was.
God, in the
so
office.
intimidating. Like,
Is he the one who said, fuck it, I'll do it
We'll do it
myself?
live.
Oh my God, when he's yelling like that,
Yeah.
he's a giant man.
Yeah.
yes, I know. I never.
That makes it so much worse.
so much worse. It makes it. Why,
It's like
I don't
Andre
know.
the Giant
It just makes it so
freaking
much
out
like,
at
oh
his
my
whole
God,
staff.
This guy's a giant meanie.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
write
crazy.
it. We'll do it live.
He's like
Fucking thing
Volkanov.
sucks.
You assume the meanies are shorties, like they got some sort of Napoleon little guy complex, but this is
Yeah,
just
like
big bellowing Bill O'Reilly.
I assume Trucker Carlson is a short guy.
Very tall,
Very tall.
yeah, 6'2".
Tucker Carlson 6'2".
Yeah.
Really?
Hannity's shorter.
Oh, he goes right for.
I'm not going to be able to make this stick unless we all kind of pitch our weight, you know?
What do you mean?
Trucker Carlson.
I don't care for it. I don't care for it at
I
all.
love it. I love it.
Thanks, dude.
I don't care for
What if all this, whatever stuff we're going on with changing people, and a guy does give birth to a baby and it is the devil?
Out his ass.
However,
That would be hilarious.
Those details don't matter. They're
Dude,
actually
that would
giving
be-
birth to like it's
be
its way of
hilarious.
conjuring itself up. I mean, it's very transphobic, but
No, the idea of a man giving birth out his butt and it being the devil is very funny.
or possible.
Is it very funny?
I mean, the optics are very funny.
A shit-covered devil baby?
I just assumed it would come out no shit on it.
Really? It
Yeah.
makes the whole way down the canal, the shit canal, but yet somehow
If
comes out clean on the other
men
side.
get pregnant, you know what? Yeah, sometimes women poop when they're giving birth.
Yeah.
Bad things happen in there.
Yeah.
It is third world to have more than 4 people on a motorcycle.
Oh, for sure. To have more than 2. Anything more than 2 is.
But have you been to places where
I
there's
went to
multiple people
Thailand and
on a
I
motorcycle,
saw
right?
exact. Dude, we pulled up beside, I'm not kidding, a family of 6 on a moped. Like 3 young children, like a 7-year-old, the mom, and the dad, and on the highway. And they, smiling. They were like, this is
it's-
fucking great.
It's 2 people per bike. 2 wheels,
Yeah.
2 people.
Well, no, I'm giving you the benefit of the third somehow, a sidecar or whatever.
no.
Dude, I saw a guy yesterday, okay?
Yeah.
Is it like no winter, no rules?
He was riding one of those one-wheel
Oh, those things are
motorcycle
nuts,
things.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a full suit, like leather suit, like a guy
Interesting.
who rode a Kawasaki would wear.
Oh, like a biker suit.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm
overkill?
sure he's bailed. No, I'm sure he's eating shit and is like, this will be the last time. I imagine those guys eat shit often.
I mean, you would think so.
Yes.
The whole thing just, why would you do that? Just get a scooter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't you wish you had seen the writing on the wall with Jolt?
Jolt Cola? What do you mean? Which writing on the wall?
Like,
that
it's
energy
really
drinks
the-
were on
it's
the
really-
way?
Well, Coke was what you needed, and then this Jolt came out. It was almost novelty,
And we thought it was so stupid.
and it was so crazy, but
Yeah.
it was the stepping stone for the energy drink.
Well, it went away long before the energy drinks ever came around, which I find interesting.
Couldn't you argue coffee was
It like
real?
Yeah. you
it
could argue that.
failed, Kamar, and disappeared. And years later,
I
energy
think a
drinks started coming
documentaries
in.
where Jolt
I
stops.
I
and
agree. Jolt. There
Red
should
Bull
be.
came in.
There should
maybe.
be a documentary on Jolt Cola. 100%.
Do you guys remember drinking milk as a kid?
Yeah, not
glasses
really.
of
I
milk.
I've never.
Really?
drank-
Well,
yeah.
we're Jews, and Jews don't eat milk with meat, so we would never have milk with dinner. That just wasn't a thing for us. I'd have milk with my cereal
Mm-hmm.
and maybe with some cookies, but like that was it. you
I
know?
remember having milk pushed on me, but me being like, no, I'm good, thanks.
Like, I do not drink milk.
I
now.
hate
I do
milk.
not go to thirst to drink milk. Maybe
Well,
cream
remember
and
the
coffee.
milk commercials?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they were pushing milk big
Yeah.
time, man.
Hammering milk.
That was the farmers of America or whatever. right?
California Dairy Association.
They sort of talked about
The milk wrap. Remember the milk wrap?
Yeah.
pharmaceutical companies and just whatever, and just be aware of in general. It's believed, may, could, like any of these words in stuff that is being pushed on you has been found to under the proper results. Not just it does this is what it's supposed to say, and they dance around with the languages.
Well, it's like when you eat your tuna and they're like, yeah, it's dolphin free. You're like, so no dolphins? And they're like, well, no, there's some dolphins, but like by and large, it's not a lot of dolphin.
Yes.
And you're like, but it says dolphin free. And they're like, yeah, but we mean we try
By
to.
and large.
Yeah, by and
all
large,
these
there's
in
not a lot of
general,
dolphins. Yeah.
Whereas one could see as.
Yeah. Which is great too, because I love the thought of someone going to someone in Congress and being like, look, we need 0 dolphins to mean like 25 to 30. And then being like, okay, I think we can work
Yeah,
that
we
out.
need a margin of error here. So it's vegetarian. It actually has 10% meat in
Yeah.
it, but we made that margin of
Yeah,
error.
can we work?
It's 12%.
How can we
It's
work this
mostly
out? Yeah.
endangered species as well.
It's all polar bear.
Yeah.
I
It's all
hate-
panda bear.
I hate long hair in sports.
Okay.
I'm like
You're
like
purist.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know
Those
why.
sideburns.
Still too long.
And to
It's a great
So in every
episode.
sport across the world,
across the board.
No sport, like even in like hockey, you don't like a flow.
No.
so no mullet, no nothing. Interesting.
You're allowed, but
Purist,
football the
real
most,
purist.
and it is considered. You can pull hair in the NFL, it's not a horse collar. You have to grab the inside of the head, shoulder pads.
So if you have long hair, you're actually just giving the guys something to grab onto.
Exactly.
It's like wearing a cape.
It is so true that there's a period in time, like maybe from 12 till 18, that you're like at risk of getting bagged. Because no other guy has respect for personal boundaries. Like we all assault people. I don't know. You never bagged someone. I got
for
bagged
sure.
by someone.
Yeah.
Hey, look out. Oh, dude. Like it's just, some got it worse than others, but it was just a weird period of life where we all sexually assaulted each other or assaulted each other, whatever you want to say.
I guess that doesn't fly anymore, right?
Well, no, someone punches you in the face or puts their foot down.
Well, no, or if somebody like bags you,
Is it
you're
still
like,
ongoing?
It's like
Oh, no.
woke, you know?
I just love
Can't
the
touch
idea.
people's genitals anymore.
I mean,
Boys are going to mischief. That's what it is.
yeah. But I'm sure someone along the
I
line
know,
was
but
like,
if
I'd
you
rather not get hit in the
mischief
dick
with
around
the
every
wrong
Probably up
turn.
to 25 when the brain forms and everyone realizes it's fucking stupid.
I mean, I like to believe I stopped punching people in the dick before I turned 25.
You didn't.
Going back to you were talking about how information we get around, if you just go back further, it gets crazier. Like say the Dark Ages, which would be the 1500s or whatever
I
it
don't
was.
believe history at all. I just don't. I don't even know if there was a Dark Ages.
That's where Shane gleans all his confidence from,
History?
is that he's a huge history buff.
He does know a lot about history, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You guys have to watch a special. I'm really disappointed. you
maybe
didn't.
one day he'll
I
come to
watched
the,
the
same
first
conclusion.
Kamar, I put it on.
Very slow in the start.
I put it on the other night. Mary had just gotten home from work, and in the first 15 minutes, she didn't laugh once. So I was like,
yeah.
okay, I'm going to turn it off and I'll watch it later.
No, you totally fucked up because he gets into his girls and he gets so.
Listen,
he
I love
is
Shane.
so
I'm sure I will love
good.
it. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Oh, he's amazing. He's so loose. Like he's the loosest of all comedians.
But at one point in the
Very
special,
loose.
he's saying how he could side with the Taliban. He could see he relates more to them. I mean, you know, like just as a normal guy, like it's really, really, really good. Freebird, Florida, Skinnerd.
Skinnerd.
It's great that they came from Jacksonville, who's getting their ass kicked. Oh no, they're back in the game.
No, they're up by 10, you dickhead.
But that's Florida Rock, and I love that.
Florida Rock.
Kamar likes anything from Florida's. I only eat oranges now.
After James Brown, they broke the mold. Like, he was wild.
Dude, Mick Jagger said he completely changed his stage presence and act after seeing James Brown play.
He actually did steal a bunch of shit from James Brown. Now that I think about it,
His whole
dance
fucking
and
move
thing,
is
it's-
James Brown.
What a
I'm-
bullshit!
I'm
artist,
telling you,
eh?
100%.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger said he used to play like that British style of rock where you just stand there with a guitar. He said he came to America, James Brown opened for them, and he was like, I have no stage presence.
Oh, that's
This guy's,
right. That's when James Brown wanted
Yeah,
to open.
guess what?
And
I'll
went
open and
and
I'll
left
fucking-
and
yeah.
came back and.
And I'm telling you, Mick Jagger said in an interview, he was like, yeah, no,
Well,
it's
no,
him.
no. Now that you said that, I'm like, yeah, I totally see it. And he's a thief, a British thief.
Just released a new song.
Mick
The
Jagger,
Rolling
James Brown.
Stones.
The Rolling Stones.
That's pathetic.
I know he's dead. I'm joking.
That's pathetic. Just hang it up.
Best biopic, The Doors.
A music one?
Well, I think that's what sort of the only biopics there are. I guess not.
No, there's
No,
a ton of
there's
biopics.
way
Malcolm
more.
Well,
X.
it's funny though they said that.
Muhammad Ali.
It should have been Vice.
Beautiful Mind. There's a million of them.
Yeah, so many biopics.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Ari loses his
Biopic.
mind, and he admits to it, but just having pointless arguments about who's the better actor or who's the biggest star or who's the biggest movie star. Like, I'm guilty of being a fan of doing that too. Because those are the best arguments.
Who's the biggest movie star, Kamar, of all time?
Of all time.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you would have to say Tom Cruise, right?
That's what Ari said.
Might be Samuel L. Jackson.
No way.
Well,
No.
going by that grossing thing they
No.
showed.
Tom
Tom
That's
Hanks.
not
It's
how
Tom
you
Hanks.
look at it.
How do you look at it then? You have to lay out the stipulations.
Jackie Chan.
No.
There might be a whole
Oh, yeah, 'cause
population that knows a
that's
whole
true.
other side.
That's true.
That's
If we're
interesting.
actually going off of numbers, it might be Jackie
But it's not
Chan.
it's not a numbers thing.
Okay, then what is it?
Numbers come into play for sure, but it's
Okay.
not solely based on numbers. It's based on like
Going to see the movie because that person.
I
is in
agree.
it.
It's like Ari said. It's like I'm going to see the Tom Cruise movie, or I'm going to see Pulp Fiction. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know what the movie's called. You're just going to see it because Tom Cruise is in it. Whereas Leo makes a movie and you know it's going to be a good movie, so you're probably going to see it. But it's not because of Leo being in it. It's because the movie's great.
Well, first of all, Tom Cruise has had twice the career that Leo's had. Length and I don't know if you know this. I don't even think Leo's been in 30 movies.
Yeah, probably not. You're right. Maybe he's been in 30 movies.
No, I think if you go to the IMDb list of the highest grossing films Leo's been in, I don't think he's been in 30 movies. I think it's like 27 or something like that. But he's really not like,
It's interesting. Will Smith would be in the conversation if not for the slap.
I think he would probably have to be in the conversation. Denzel?
Love me some Denzel.
29
Tom
movies,
Hanks.
so I'm
29.
It's Tom
pretty
Hanks.
close.
It's Tom Hanks.
30 movies.
Well, I said 27, but my point is like you would think that someone like Leo, who you just said is in the running for one of the biggest stars of all time, you'd probably be in more than 30 films, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he is in the star in the. For
Is it
biggest
possible
star of all
Sean
time.
Penn politicized himself out of the conversation?
No, I don't think he was one of the biggest of all time.
He was a good actor,
Great actor, yeah.
great.
but I don't know if you would.
But again,
consider
Daniel
him
Day-Lewis is one of the greatest actors of all time, but there's no way he's on this list. No shot.
he's like one of the greatest actors
That's what
of
I just
all
said,
time.
yeah.
But no, like I think in the conversation would be Tom Hanks. In the conversation would be Tom Cruise. In the conversation would be
Will Smith.
Christian
no,
Bale.
not anymore.
Well, that's what we said. You didn't answer the question. Kamar asked, do you think the slap
The slap
took Will Smith out of the running?
forever. He never comes back. He never gets back into the conversation.
That's the world you want to live in?
No, that is the world we
No
live
redemption?
in.
He gets no redemption
Zero
ever?
rede-
Interesting.
No. They may accept him back and he can make movies again, but in best actor of all time, he's out of the conversation. Kind of like Izzy is out of the conversation of best UFC fighter of all time now.
Okay. I don't know. I guess
And who else?
I think I'm going to have to give it to Tom Hanks.
But the other people are on that list. I would just have to think.
Robert
about it
De
for a
Niro?
second. De Niro's on that list.
But he sort of fucked himself up with
Al Pacino is
parents.
on that list, probably.
No.
Yes, Al Pacino's on that
I
list.
think you would have. I mean,
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
No.
no, I don't think
No.
so. I don't
Sorry.
think so.
Disagree.
Again,
Johnny
I just,
Depp.
Johnny Depp, yes.
Johnny Depp is probably on that
That's a
list.
good
yeah,
look. That's a
Johnny
good
Depp
shout.
is on that list.
Because he has both the Jack Sparrow audience as well as like he's
Is
done.
Brad Pitt on that list? I would have to say yes. I would have to say yes. You say I'm going to see the Brad Pitt movie. It may be the Mexican. You don't care.
Vin Diesel.
It's a great movie, by the way, the Mexican.
Vin Diesel.
No.
Did we talk about this
no,
last week? F9?
No.
Yeah, you,
Yes.
you ran
And
through the
and-
magnet.
and you didn't watch
The
it?
magnet.
Oh my God.
No, we didn't watch
I
it.
have no friends.
What are you talking about? I texted you the second your competition was over and asked if you won.
Tampa Bay, right on. Okay.
Fuck you, Kumar. Fuck you. The Vikings are absolute dog shit.
You guys both have seen Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
Oh, we just lost all over the place.
All
we
over the
lost
place.
everything.
Full Metal Jacket. Let's do it.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head every week to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing Full Metal Jacket with Matthew Modine. I actually saw an interesting interview with Andrew McCarthy. Do you remember who he was?
No.
He was in Less Than Zero. I think he was in Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, I know who he is.
And he was part of this thing called the Brat Pack with Emilio
Did you say
Estevez.
Matthew Modine?
Matthew Modine was
Wasn't
in
he
Full Metal
Joker
Jacket.
in Full Metal Jacket?
He said Matthew Modine was in Full Metal Jacket.
Matthew
That's what he
Modine.
said.
He's the reporter, the journalist.
He was a big actor. No, he actually is in the army.
Yeah, I know, but he's in like the press corps.
Yes. Pardon me. Directed by Stanley Kubrick.
This is a tough one, man.
Yeah, I have no reference for a year, for the money, I have no
There's
idea about
starring
anything.
Matthew Modine, Adam Baldwin, Vincent D'Onofrio. That's who came up in the conversation and brought it up. Lee Ernie, Dorian Harewood, Arliss Howard, Kevin Major, Howard, and Ed Ross.
I think I'm way off.
Yeah,
here.
I think I'm way off too, but let's
What
just
year do you
it.
have, Simon?
I have 1988.
Wow, I have 87.
1987.
Wow.
Fuck you.
Wow.
And that's in the UK and the US.
Oh, look at us go.
Okay, so I'm first then. I said
Yeah.
it cost $9.2 million to make because of all the war shit, and it made $68 million.
Well, we're close on the. I said it cost 12.7 and it made 31.8.
You guys don't give Stanley any respect. Cost $30 million to make.
Jesus, that's
and
all the
made
war stuff.
$120 million in the box office.
Wow.
Well, nice
I just
return
thought
on
80s.
investment.
Yeah, no, good for him.
But nice
Good
on the
for him.
date, man.
Well, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
I do. That's the movie game. If they question why their superhero movies are so predominant, it's because all we had was comic books. I can't, and cartoons.
Dude, I can remember when I first saw, because the Superman movies were always dorky. I don't know if you agree with
The
that.
first ones are amazing. When at the age I was 6 or 7.
Yeah, I know, but like they just weren't good enough. They weren't. But when the first Batman came out, that was like the big shift. The Michael Keaton Batman.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first real superhero movie to ever come out, as far
And
as
your
I'm
imagination
concerned.
ran of what they could do with other superheroes.
And then from there, they just started going in all sorts of different directions. But that one, that I can remember going to that movie and coming out of that and just like actually being in the movie
Waiting
and it
around
getting
it.
ready to end and me just thinking, I wish this movie had another like 10
Yeah,
hours. I don't want
such a
this
good
to
movie.
ever end.
it's all we had was comic books.
And I read a lot of comic books. That was like a big part of my life.
I read a lot of comic books too, and I'm sure a lot of other people read comic books, and that's why we're going through this huge superhero movie. But I think they're almost out of them.
No, there's endless amounts of superhero movies they can make.
I disagree.
Well, look at like something like Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm a superhero fan and like hardly knew about Guardians of the Galaxy. That becomes like the biggest franchise ever.
But a lot of titles have been done.
Yeah, but do you know how many comic books there are?
No, but they'd have to be. I guess so. Like, till there's a vigilante, I guess they still got to go because that was one of the comic books I used to read.
Dude, that was one of my favorite comic books. That guy was
Vigilante,
so
really?
badass.
That's
So,
interesting.
it
He
so
was like
badass.
Punisher before the Punisher, maybe.
Yeah.
And he would just go out there and fuck people up, rip their spines
And it was just
out
you'd read
and-
all these comics with superheroes saving people and do stuff, but it was this greedy comic. This guy fucked people.
Yeah,
up.
this guy was just. You know what my favorite as a kid though was this one called Space Beaver. Did you ever?
I think that is Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh no, he
No,
was a
no,
raccoon.
no.
Space
This
Beaver.
was it was like in the same vein as like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the good one. You know, the Eastman comic, because
Yeah.
that was the real graphic or the real comic of that is like uber violent and then there was like Usagi Yojimbo, you know, the rabbit that sometimes no.
I bet you
Anyways.
more have been done than have not.
Anyways,
Because right now, I was watching this is the rise of country right now. Country music is the biggest music now.
yeah, I'm a new fan.
Where rap was like 5 years ago for however long it came from, take over for alternative rap core or whatever it was.
So does that mean that country music is a psyop then?
Well, they're all psyops, we believe, right? Because in the 90s, it was rock rap.
No, in the 90s, it was gangster rap.
I would argue that gangster rap just recently became the biggest music in the world.
I don't know. In the early 90s, gangster
Limp
rap.
Bizkit, Korn, these were the biggest bands.
Okay. I mean, you could argue DMX was just as big as Limp Bizkit at that time.
You could, but it was like those were the it bands, and then they spurned like Coldplays and that
You
sort of.
think that Limp Bizkit spurned a Coldplay?
Spurn? I think it's Spawn.
Whatever. I don't give a fuck what he's saying.
I know, but he
Oasis.
said something wrong, and then you
Yeah,
repeated
well,
his
I had
wrong
to.
thing.
Well, what am I going to do? I
and
can't
you got
correct the
that
guy all
dreamy
day.
stuff, and then just trap, everything took over. I think trap took over the Migos. That's when it became the biggest.
Yeah, but that took over like 5, maybe 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah. And now I think right now it's country music is
I think they got it right with what music goes with lean,
mumble rap.
trap.
because that's how you gotta do music. It's like, here's the music and here's the drug for the music. You know, that's how you really get.
That's like the
a
movie,
true
then the
following.
toy, and the cartoon, and all the spin-offs.
No, I'm being serious here.
I know you are.
That's why, like, Grateful Dead and Acid.
Yeah.
Real movement, because you had the drug to go along with the thing. Cypress Hill and weed, or pick another one, a real movement, because you had the drug to go with the music.
James Woods,
As the best actor ever.
excellent actor.
Okay, but
definitely
not
not in the
come
conversation.
on.
No.
For the biggest movie star of all
He's
time.
blackballed because he's super conservative.
We
He's
don't
not-
give a shit. He was never one of the biggest
Vince
movie
Vaughn?
stars.
Come on. No, I
Vince
mean,
Vaughn was.
No. You don't you don't put Vince Vaughn and fucking Robert De Niro in the same
Russell
category of rap.
Russell Crowe for a minute, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Guy
but I
Pearce?
still wouldn't. No, definitely not Guy Pearce.
Oh my God,
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman, exactly.
No, not Hugh Jackman. Those
Chris
guys are like
Hemsworth?
a next generation. No, definitely not.
The
Chris
Rock,
Hemsworth.
then.
Tom Holland.
The Rock could
Tom
be
Holland,
in
nah.
the Rock could be in the conversation.
What has he done besides Spider-Man?
I don't know. Other stuff? Dune? No, that's
No,
Chalamet.
he's done a lot of things, but not like
What has he
that's
done
made him
besides Spider-Man?
famous. Well, I've seen him in a bunch of
Lots of
movies,
things, but I
so,
can't name
yeah,
one. Okay.
I don't know the
yeah,
name.
We're at that
that's you know
point
how
now.
it works, yeah.
He may be. He's too young.
He is Spider-Man. That's who he is. You are correct.
What
Unfortunately.
about Tobey Maguire then?
Tobey Maguire.
Jake
is
Gyllenhaal
not in
over
there.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey
fell off.
Maguire, first of all, he got outed in that poker movie. So he's out of the conversation. But he was never in the conversation.
Okay.
Like Leo is close to the conversation. Toby, not even close. Jake Gyllenhaal, not close. Great actor, but not close to the conversation.
So who is it then? Who's yours?
I don't know.
I said Tom Hanks is mine.
I think it's Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like him
It's
the best.
weird
I
it's a
just
Tom.
think he's the visit.
I'm gonna go with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, we know why you're doing
Tom
that. though. It's
Hardy?
like a technicality.
Love me some Tom Hardy. He's got a new movie coming out about bikers with the guy from Elvis.
Tom Hardy, he may be the best ever. I don't know if, like, deserving. I don't know
It
if
feels like
he
it's
would
sort of
get
a
it.
redo of what was Marlon Brando in?
The Wild Ones?
I'm not gonna hurt you, little
Or the Wild
baby.
Bunch?
Yeah. So this is Tom Hardy's doing one with the guy who played Elvis in the Elvis,
Okay.
who's an it guy right now. It looks pretty raw. And then they played, of course, the Napoleon trailer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we just go back just before the Napoleon trailer? I mean, I think I know the answer. Timothy Oliphant.
In
Am I right?
In Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Napoleon? There's
Timothy
a,
Oliphant.
yeah.
He's the best.
That's not what he's the best in, but he is in that movie. There's a Napoleon movie?
I told you guys about the trailer. We watched it, didn't we? I did it on the
Who
post.
plays Napoleon?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah, we did. I remember this now. Yeah,
It was a Matrix moment for me
I got it.
because I was like, you got to see this, and then I hear someone else like, you got to see this.
You know how they stole so much stuff from Egypt? Like, so they went in.
All the
and-
artifacts and
Yeah,
stuff,
they
yeah.
went in and they were like, this obelisk is coming back with us. And the way they had to get these things back was like ridiculous. Think how huge they were. Some of these 1,000-ton obelisks, and they cart it back to fucking wherever. London, exactly. It's in the Louvre or whatever. But why was I telling you this?
That's why you always bet on afternoon games, man. Still alive.
Why was I?
Because I'm talking about the Napoleon trailer, and it's coming.
Oh
out.
yeah, Napoleon. They saw this, like they had done this like ceiling of a it was some star thing, and they took each stone was like 1,000 tons, and there were 100 stones that make up. They took them all. Like the whole thing is nuts, man. When you think about it, it's so crazy. They must have thought that stuff was so uber important.
Yeah, of course. If you're going to take all the time and effort to do that, yeah.
Like it's not just because they were pretty, dude. That's way too much work. Okay, that's what I think, anyways.
Okay.
But
As
Fair
BJ says, why did they never draw pictures of themselves?
I didn't
that
understand
wasn't as
what
poignant.
the
That wasn't as
fuck he was
poignant.
talking about.
Really wasn't as poignant as BJ made it out to be.
I know.
I didn't even get it.
I still
Is
don't
he
get
saying
it.
that cavemen didn't draw cavemen? I don't know what the fuck they draw. First of all, we find so few of their cave drawings. You may just find the ones that were done about animals. Anyways,
I always just look back that
spoiler alert.
it wasn't for fun. That's what I tell myself.
Drawing wasn't for fun.
It was just I want to be creative, and this place is a dump. I'm gonna put some carvings of it.
But Simon draws for fun.
Yeah, but he doesn't chisel into stone.
No, but that was your only option.
Those are hieroglyphs. The caveman drawings were done in like, I don't think they were chiseled in, but I could be wrong.
I feel like I'm defending myself.
And then how would we even find them if they weren't chiseled in? That's crazy.
Or how someone knew that they had to be chiseled in to be found.
That's how you should be doing your new art, Simon. Chiseling it into rock. Just to
that's
ensure
the
that
only
it
way
lives
that it lives.
on.
True
Yeah.
graffiti
Yeah.
is done by chiseling
It's
into
true.
rock.
Yeah.
It's true. Everything else is a waste of time.
Yeti.
Well,
Chisel it in there.
Chisel it in.
that's arguing to what I'm saying. Because
Okay.
if that's the case, they're just tagging the place up.
Yeah. We were here. Yeah.
Well, they know for sure that most of the hieroglyphs they find in, like, let's say ancient Egypt
Okay.
are done on top of something that already exists, meaning they had a obelisk.
Yeah, someone
made
found it thousands of years later and
they
then
came
graffitied
in-
up.
And it wasn't necessarily graffiti. They could have been writing out their religious stuff on it. I'm just saying it was done way later in time than...
I just love that you can't wrap your head around the thought that you might have fucked some cave chick 200,000 years ago near an obelisk and then been like, I'm going to fucking hammer into the stone here that I fucked this cave chick. And the sun was halfway up.
You saying that's, you think, I mean, I can't say that's not feasible, but you're suggesting that.
I mean, listen, if you're going to say that the dinosaurs could have built subways, then this is feasible as fuck.
That's on the other side of the table.
Wow. You agree with it vehemently. So
It's a true statement. I don't
yeah,
agree.
mine is too. It's a true statement. Yeah. Anything could happen.
I mean, that's probably what some of the hieroglyphics were. We're definitely like Matt plus Mary.
No, you
and-
got to
Yeah.
reword that. Words are important. He's saying we don't know.
Yeah. And
They
I said that.
didn't.
We don't know. You
Dude,
don't know that they
wouldn't that
didn't
be
do that.
so funny if they actually come upon like something in, I don't know, Greece or Rome, and it's Cleopatra plus Mark Anthony and a heart, and then
That'd be hilarious,
literally
yeah.
just chiseled into a rock.
Because they were too dumb to do a tree. That doesn't make sense.
A tree doesn't stay. You're just hurting the tree for
Why
no
don't trees
reason.
stay?
The bark grows back over the scar.
Why don't trees stay? All right. I guess that's it. Are we going to rate it?
And Kamar, when there are
It's-
forest fires and stuff, trees get burnt up. You know what doesn't get burnt up?
Stone.
Giant megalithic stones.
I give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna for a
I
5
really
hour,
love
for a
these.
5-hour podcast. This was actually the best.
I
one
laughed my
I've heard.
ass off many times.
Shane Gillis was the star. If we had to rate people in it,
Shane's usually the star.
Ari held it together for once.
Yeah, no, they were okay. Mark was a little much, and then Joe just is like the old man in the room who makes everything unfunny.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
You need a straight man. I give it a 3.8,
3.
and I've given these lower.
I'm gonna go with a solid 3, and I think that's more than fair for this podcast. I think what you guys are doing is a little inflated, but I'm not gonna
Really?
tell you how to run your.
I think
Feels like you're telling us.
Disingenuous would be the word I would use, but I
Wow.
didn't want to go there at first, but I'm going there.
No, I'm glad you didn't say shit, actually. You probably shut your fucking mouth.
I've never been in the school. Like Matt loves these. He's always said he loves this, and I've always said, this is good enough. Quit while you're at top. But yet they keep proceeding.
Simon,
and it's so
much better
surprised.
than Sober October. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I just want to say for the record, like for guys that complain week in and week out, when you finally get something that just like lets you laugh and enjoy 5 hours, other than a few times where Joe's like, the
100%.
taints, the phthalates. Other than that, it's just a good 5 hour laugh. That's what I need during my week. That's what I want during my week.
You see,
I don't want to be bogged down with the fucking government's trying to kill me and the CIA ops.
I
and
listen
fucking-
to Matt and Shane's secret podcast. I listen to all sorts of funny podcasts. I don't need to get that on Rogan. So to me, it's like
It's labeled as a comedy podcast.
I know, but we both know it's not that.
Whatever. All right. Well, if you made it this far, God bless your soul. That's incredible. Maybe you're willing to go a step further. We have a Patreon if you want to join the team. You can do so for as little as $5 a month. Head over to patreon.com/JREE podcast. For that $5, you get a bunch of shit. And that's really it. Other than that, we hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. We hope you are as happy we are that fucking football's back, baby. Kamar's team won. My team lost. One of your teams has won, but you're a shitty fan, so whatever. That's it. We hope you enjoy your week. Have a great weekend, and as usual,
Keep your eyes open.